Welcome back to the Jesus Magnet. I'm your host Joel, and today we have Paul or Daniel
Yes.
with us
Paul
on the
Daniel.
day. Paul Daniel,
Yes.
and you're a fellow believer in Chiang Mai with me. Actually, we ended up moving to Chiang Mai within weeks of each other,
Right. Yeah.
but we only met last week in person.
That's right.
Because we go to the same men's group
That's right.
with Victory Church.
Mm-hmm.
Big shout out to Victory Church. Love that church. Unfortunately, since that massive earthquake, we ended up moving away. We used to live very close to Victory Church, and we've had to move here.
Oh, okay.
So we're probably like half an hour's drive, maybe 25 minutes to Victory Church, and I have a little baby, and I just can't get to the church in time to coincide with his naps. So now we're going to a different church closer to where we live now, but we love Victory Church, made heaps of connections
Nice.
and heaps of friends, and I still go to the men's group, which is funny because I love the men's group and I've got great friends there, but the men's group is all about the sermon on Sunday.
Right.
Which
yeah, that's true.
I have to just figure out what everyone's talking about and then add my 2 cents.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed too. Because I haven't been to any of the sermons as well. I mean, I just joined the men's group because I was happy to find a Christian men's group.
You want to bring your mic just a little bit closer?
Sure. I was just really happy to find a Christian men's group who meet up every week and share stuff and get together. I found that very very nice,
So how did you come across the men's group if you weren't going to the church?
Good question.
Did someone invite you?
Huh?
Did someone invite you?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure. No, I didn't. I didn't just show up.
Just knock
uninvited.
knock on Peter's house.
Actually, I have a friend, this French girl who goes to the Victory Church. So I usually go to a Catholic church, but this girl, she goes to both. She goes to both Protestant and Catholic. She was brought up Catholic, but she adopted the Protestant view of Christianity, and she really appreciates both. So I'm actually I've been to several Protestant churches or maybe I should say like events, and I appreciate a lot of stuff about them, and I've been to like even like other churches. Since my coming to Christ, I've been very open and I just love meeting Christians in general, just like different Christians. I'm not like no, they only have to be Catholic. No, I'm not like that, but I do feel more at home in the Catholic Church, but I also love being with different Christians every now and then and just exploring and seeing how Christianity evolves differently. I think it's very interesting for me. I'm very fascinated by all of that, and I'm happy that a lot of people follow Christ and follow Jesus. Like no matter what their denomination is. I think that should unite us. You know what I mean? Like I'm more about that. I'm more about just Christians coming together. It doesn't mean we have to all be in the same kind of denomination or anything, but just just to love one another. You know what I mean? Like just like Jesus told us, and to love even our fellow human beings who are not Christian. You know what I mean? Like it's all about love at the end. I really believe in that.
Do you think that there are main theological absolutes that you should believe, and then there's secondary issues? So, for example, Jesus being God, that would be a central theological thing that
of course
every Christian denomination agrees on.
Yeah.
The age of the earth, 6,000.
Oh, okay.
So many billion, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's a secondary issue, isn't it?
Yeah. I think we might say that. Yeah. I mean,
Is there anything that's you find with, because you're the first, I know a couple of people that have gone to a few different churches, but normally they're not going to, like Catholic is got quite a few different viewpoints that most of the other most of the other denominations don't hold to, like praying to saints and things like that.
Mm.
Is there anything that you like find, because that would be something that they disagree on?
Yes. Yes.
Um, and since you go to both, do you lean towards one more than the other? Let's use the praying to the saints as an example, or
We don't really. So okay, so this is like a misconception. We don't really pray to the saints in the same sense as we pray to God. We
pray with the saints.
we ask for their intercession.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's almost like asking you or anyone to pray for me.
That's the
We
interpretation
Yeah.
I've heard a lot.
Yeah. And I mean that's like that's the Catholic view actually, and also the Orthodox view. And I'm not an expert on the Bible, okay, so I'm still learning, you know.
I think
So,
we're
so
all in that boat,
yeah.
Daniel.
No, yeah, but I mean, I'm a newcomer, so I'm just. I mean, I love reading the Bible like reading certain verses which describe certain things, but I I'm still not like I still don't have them like memorized where I could just say, oh, in the Bible verse here, chapter this so and so says this. I'm not there yet, but I know that in the Bible, I think it's Romans or some. I'm sorry, I can't really remember, but where the Apostle Paul uh, describes the saints on earth and then the saints in light. So the saints on earth and the saints which who are in heaven, and he makes like a distinction between the two, like even those who are in heaven, like we can actually ask for their intercession because those are now sinless, like they're living with God and they're sinless, and they become saints, and it's very common for Catholic and Orthodox to
I suppose the danger would be uh, turning one of the saints into kind of like an idol of
oh
this is who I pray to.
oh yeah, no, we
And I'm not saying you do that,
sure
but that would be maybe from an outside view.
we
That might be what they think.
yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, because I asked Catholics about this. I asked even the fathers, the priests and the Catholic. They all said that we are like adamantly like against that. Like that's
Right.
yeah, like that's not the Catholic view, but that's a very common misconception.
Mm.
And they even told me that some Catholics uh, do things like that, but we don't like we don't we like we're not. We're not okay with it. Like we tell them that they shouldn't do that. Like we just say so the saints and like Mother Mary and all these things, they're there if we need to speak to them because each one of them has their own quality. Like some saints are known for healing certain diseases
I
or
suppose that's where I get a little, my heart sort of
yeah that
spikes up
yeah
because
that
it sounds like this God does healing, this God does fertility. It starts to sound like that with other religions.
yeah no
And
but
then is it
yeah.
because all Satan does is twist the truth. It's the truth mainly. Sorry, it's the truth, but it's wrapped in a couple of lies. So it looks right, but there's a few lies that are off. I'm not saying it's a lie,
Yeah.
but when you said that, some are known for healing and some are known for
Maybe I'm not really explaining it very well because like I said I try to be very careful when I talk about these things because I'm still
still learning yourself.
I'm still learning, but I also like heard a lot of things which really convinced me that that's not the case. That that we don't treat them as gods at all. I just may not have the right terms to to describe that
Right.
or
Okay.
explain that.
No, that's all good.
But,
But so you said that you haven't really been a Christian for very long.
yeah,
Tell me about your life before Christ, BC.
yeah. Okay. So from a very young age, uh, I was a very curious kid. I grew up very curious about why things are the way they are. I just had all kinds of questions. I guess like a lot of kids, right? I just wanted to know about things in general, And then, of course, I had all these existential questions. Where do we come from and stuff? And then when I started to hear about religion, and of course, me coming from a Muslim country, which is Morocco, of course, the first religion that will be, presented to you is Islam, naturally, right? So, and of course, also coming from a family which is originally Muslim. Although my parents never really practiced religion, they never really practiced Islam. They never really prayed or anything. Especially my father. My father was is more secular, right? I think that's the term.
Yep.
So I would even say he's kind of like an atheist. But it's strange because my father he stopped believing in Islam when he was like in his 20s, and this is something I learned after I told him that I don't believe in Islam anymore. He never like really told us because he didn't really want to influence us either way.
What was it that made you not not believe in Islam? I mean, you grew up with it.
So okay, so so to continue, the thing that really mm, so first of all, I was very curious about God. Just I just wanted to know God. Who is this God? Who is God? What is God? Is God a he, a she, a it? I don't know. Is it one plural? I don't know. I just wanted to know. And but the one of the things that really marked, I don't know if you can say this in English, marked me, because in French we say this. Something that really was like solidified within me was I would spend a lot of the time in nature, and I had no concept of. I was not like religious or anything, but I just being in nature, I could feel the creator. I could feel someone was there watching over me and us and everything. I could feel life. I could feel more life there. I could feel the source of life there, and I didn't have any notion about it. But that is what never left me all my life,
Mm.
and because of that, I just wanted to know more. And of course, when I heard about Islam at school, because I used to go to an American school, but we also had like 1 hour of Arabic and 1 hour of Islamic studies per week, uh, especially as children who come from a Muslim background. And I had all these questions, and I so I heard about God and the Quran and Muhammad and everything else. I didn't know anything about it. I was just very curious. Okay, okay, tell me more. And so I was very fascinated with the idea of God, you know, a creator who created us, and he wants us to be good and all these things. And of course that would speak to anyone's heart, anyone who with a pure heart, especially as children. He wants you to be good, and he wants you to do good and love people and all these things, and so that you can go to heaven and everything. So that's how it usually is like presented to you as a Muslim. But as you go into it, you start to know more about the like how you should pray, what you should do, the certain views of Islam, the things that the things that the religion says are okay, are not okay, why they're not okay. Now you start to feel a little different. At least in my case, I started to see like, oh, this. I started to read the Quran more and everything, and as I was reading it, I would come across things which were very contradictory to me, and I I didn't really feel the love of God when I was reading those. And it's really funny, Joel, is I never grew up as a Christian, but you know,
You could like sense reading the texts that
looking no, what I'm trying to say is looking back at it now, I I notice that I've always had like more of a Christian view on God than I did an Islamic view on God. Really, because like
what do you mean by that?
yeah, what I mean is I always saw God as someone who loves us and who is love itself and who is just pure love and pure. So this is also a view, I think, I'm not an expert, but I think the Sufi the Sufi view of God is also very similar. Like they talk about love being more about like they talk more about like having uh, a loving relationship with God. It's not exactly the Christian view on God, but it's very close in terms of love. So like love is a very big thing. Whereas in Islam, it's not really about love; it's about obedience. It's just obedience. Even God in the Quran would say, "I'm not your father. I'm no one's father, and all you are to me are my like you're my slaves, and I'm your master. That's it." It's not like there's no like fatherly relationship between us and God. And
Wow, I didn't know that Islam views God like that.
yes, yes. I mean, there's also those occasional verses where God would say like, "I am the most merciful. I'm
Sure.
all these things, right?" But there's no like he is actually he actually comes out and says, "I am not your father." Like he actually says that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He actually yeah. This is not like an interpretation. There's an actual verse that says,
Yeah.
"I am a father to nobody." Like not 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 just in a biological sense, in any sense whatsoever,
Mm.
spiritual, biological. I'm nobody's father, and I don't. I like. He makes it very clear that he does not even like the term father. He doesn't like
Wow.
to be called. Yeah, and so over there, like right there, you start to see that it's more about obedience and more about just being like a slave and it's like a servant and just doing what he tells you to do and then it becomes more like as you go into it you start to see that it's more fear based. Like you may have, of course, a lot of Muslims have doubts even though they don't admit it even to themselves most of the time, because there's not really anything that gives you that kind of like reassurance if this is really like the way. But because you're full of fear, you don't even try to ask God or ask questions in the community like why is this like this, like,
Mm.
so you just keep it to yourself and you just like kind of like suppress all these questions, all these doubts, and you're just like no, it's better for me to suppress my doubts than to maybe
So it's not really encouraged to ask questions. Like, is
yeah,
there a resistance to anyone that does go, hey, can you explain this father thing to me?
yeah, yeah,
Doesn't seem like he cares for us.
yeah. So in the beginning, sorry, when you start asking questions, of course, like you would be told like yeah, it's fine, like if you have any questions you can ask, but they're only okay with certain questions to a certain
Really?
extent. Yeah.
Wow.
When you start asking too much, they're like, hey, stop. Like that's just the devil, like playing with your mind. Stop asking.
They just tell you to, all right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's like it's very common in Islam. Like by any Islamic authority would do this to you. Like be it your parents or your teacher or your imam or whoever. If you ask if you ask some questions, they're okay. But if you keep asking, they're like the fact that you're asking too many questions, for them it's too many. If it's like four or five or more, it's like too much. And they're like, if it's too much, then
Do you think it starts to tear away at like the illusion of what you've been taught?
oh,
And
definitely,
they start to, like, the more questions you ask. I mean,
definitely,
for me, one of my favorite things, and we experienced this just before that we hit record on the podcast. We were talking about love,
yes,
and the great thing is we were questioning each other,
yeah,
but it was an encouragement.
yeah,
Oh, I haven't thought of it actually like that. That's a good point. Dangle, you raised a good point in that. I hadn't considered love like that. And where or I could be very single minded and go,
mm.
we're gonna stop talking about this right now because
That's exactly how Islam is.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
So it's like, oh no, my mind might be starting to change. I'm going to shut this conversation down
yeah,
before I can get almost my eyes opened.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, this was. I'm speaking from experience. This is what I've always seen, all the time, and like, not just in my life, and even in people's lives around me. I've always heard this. Like, I've never seen like. I mean, of course, you have exceptions, but the exception is not the rule. Um Muslims love saying, love to say things like, well, that's just Muslims who do this. It's not really the religion that makes you do this. But when it's like the majority of people who don't like to answer questions, or who suppress questions, or who say that too many questions are proof that the devil is playing with your mind, and he's trying to make you disbelieve, because if you keep asking questions, so this is something that you hear a lot from Muslims. They would say, if you keep asking questions, all it's going to do is going to make it's going to make you believe less and less, and then you're going to leave the religion, and then you're just going to go to hell if you leave the religion. So they kind of like just scare you from the get-go. Like, if you keep asking, it's just going to end up in losing your faith, and then if you lose your faith, that's it.
So
You're done.
let's apply that same logic to doing a science experiment, right?
Okay.
All right, doing a
Let's
science
let's try.
experiment, and you're like, all right, question one, why did this happen? This outcome. All right, because you asked that question, you start to look into it. All right, that question actually created a lot more questions. All right, I did it because of this
Right.
reason, this reason, this reason. All right, I'm going to ask more questions to try and figure out all that. It actually creates greater understanding. But the
Exactly.
thing is what it does as well is eventually it leads to truth. It kind of
Exactly.
has to.
Absolutely.
If you keep questioning stuff, you're questioning saying, is this true or is this not true? And you're filtering out all, like, this whole world is full of untruths, right?
Yep.
A great example that I've come across is the Garden of Eden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying this is not true. This is true. The
Mm-hmm.
Garden of Eden
Sure.
in the Bible has Adam and Eve in this beautiful place, and God says to them, you can eat of any tree in this garden
Mm-hmm.
except the tree in the middle, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, will cause death.
Yeah.
So that's the free will, right? They still had the free will to have life and life abundantly by eating on all the trees, except one will bring death and destruction. So now, today, where the Garden of Eden has actually flipped inside out. Now, you can eat of only the tree of life, one tree, and every other tree in the garden brings death and destruction. That's today. So the whole world has been spun around. Jesus says the way is narrow and few find it.
Mm-hmm.
So that when we're searching for truth,
Mm-hmm.
there is one truth and there's a lot of lies. That is a true statement. There's a lot of lies out there. There's a lot of deception. And there really is only one truth. And you have to keep questioning things
Yeah.
because it eliminates the lies.
Absolutely.
And so hoping that you find the truth. A guy called, from the book Evidence That Demands a Verdict, Josh and Sean McDowell. Huge book. It's like this thick. Like a Bible, but it's all evidence towards Christianity. Amazing book.
What is it? What is it called again?
Evidence That Demands a Verdict.
Oh, evidence that demands a verdict.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, very, very good apologetic book.
Okay, nice.
And his son, Josh's son, is called Sean, who also wrote the book with him. He approached his dad when he was young, and he said his dad had written a few books and was kind of like one of the world's most famous apologists, Christian apologists. So he knew that God was true based off evidence, not necessarily faith, which is a really cool reason to believe.
Sure.
Like you're not believing on fairy tales because
Of course.
you just believe it.
Of course.
It's because it makes sense.
Exactly.
So his son ended up coming up to him and said, "Dad, I'm not sure about Christianity." Now his dad, Josh, said, Sean, that's great. That's awesome that you doubt that. You need to keep searching for truth. And I encourage you. So he was really afraid to come to his dad and say, I'm not sure about Christianity, because that was basically his dad's profession, was showing how it's true. But he wanted his son to have this revelation himself. But you can only get that revelation by doubting in the first place and having those questions.
Absolutely.
Because by doubting, it causes you to search and causes you to get a revelation from yourself. Not what do we call it? Secondhand revelation, where I only believe because your parents believe.
That's not a good reason to believe.
That's secondhand revelation.
Sure.
That's not actually good enough.
Yeah.
One of the other things we do is we run a Bible study at our house on Wednesday nights. And we say at the beginning of the Bible study, if you agree or disagree with whoever's teaching that week, that's okay. Your job is not to argue. Your job is to go to the Bible, and whether you agree with it, go to the Bible and check it's there. If you disagree with it, go to the Bible and see if it's there.
Yeah.
In all circumstances, actually just go to the Bible and see if it's there.
Yeah.
So if you live your life like that, where you're okay with questions, because a lot of Christians too are not okay with questions.
Of course, yeah.
It's not the right mindset to have, I think.
Sure.
I think it's great to have questions, and I love friends
Of
like
course.
you
Yeah.
that are like, I don't know if I agree with that. I think it's a great challenge, and I'm like, because it's done in love as well. Like, we care about each other. We're not trying to pick fights.
Of course.
It's iron sharpening iron.
Yes, exactly.
And that's a friction that happens, and it hurts, and it screeches, and it's horrible noise. But we come out sharper and better for the most part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love everything you just said, man. I totally agree. And I just like to add something about that. Like when I'm saying that, like when I'm talking about Muslims, for example, of course, not all of them are the way that I described. I'm just saying, like.
Do you want to bring that mic just a little closer?
Sorry. Sure. I was talking more about like the majority of the time, what we usually see. But of course, like I said, there's exceptions. Like a lot of Muslims that I've known are actually very open to asking questions and to thinking things through.
That's good.
And like some of the nicest people I've met are Muslims. Like really, really genuine people, really nice. It's just but there's an underlying issue within the religion which doesn't really welcome a lot of doubt, a lot of questions, as other faiths do. Like, and I'm talking about like mainly Christianity. That's one of the things I really love about Christianity. It's mainly it's very, Jesus in the Bible says, let us reason. You know what I mean? Let us reason together. I think he says that in the Bible. Yeah. I don't remember which verse though, but I know that he says that.
Yeah, well, I think it's the book of Acts. There's it says that this church, they listened to the Apostle Paul, but then afterwards went back to Scripture and double checked. It specifically says, yes, they listened to the pastor, but then afterwards they checked with Scripture thoroughly.
Yeah.
So that's important. We should be taking on that mindset as Christians. Okay, if you're like you thought I was a pastor at one point.
I don't know who told me, but I think I think they were pointing to someone else, and I thought it was you. I don't know, something like.
That's all right. And let's say you did assume I was a pastor, and just because I said something, don't take it as gospel. Like,
sure,
question it.
Of course.
Go back to the Scripture. Make sure that what I'm saying is accurate. I could be saying so much. I say a lot of weird stuff.
Of course.
In all honesty, I really like talking about aliens. I really like talking about end times stuff. I like talking about weird stuff. I love the discussion on
here,
old
man.
Earth,
Me
young
too.
Earth.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
And at the end of the day, like I mean, it's not a salvation issue, but it's fun and it's good for your mind. I think
Sure, sure,
to
of
really
course.
battle it out, that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
man. I mean, like it keeps your mind active to just have and like a vast imagination, and it also like it also keeps you going and seeking or getting closer to the truth. Kind of like your example with science. That's very important. So
Mm.
whenever, and this is, yeah, this is the thing. Like whenever questions are discouraged, whenever questions are discouraged, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. Like what, no matter the religion, what I mean. It's not a good sign because religion is mainly about truth. It's
Yeah.
mainly about what is true. That's why people go to religion. I mean, yes, a lot of people go to religion for comfort, for security, but but essentially it's about truth
Yeah.
because nothing can save you other than the truth.
You know,
It's
there's
it's
more people today
yeah,
in this generation Z
yeah.
that are attending church that have never been to church.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
That's
I know.
amazing, isn't
That's
it?
amazing, man.
And
It's
do you
so
know
beautiful.
why? It's because of the craziness of our world recently.
Oh
You can be
yeah,
a
man.
bunny or a woman
Yeah,
or
right.
a unicorn, whatever you want to be. You can be it as long as
That's crazy.
and you have to affirm my
Oh
belief
yeah,
just because
man.
I say
Oh,
it.
I hate that, man.
Oh,
Oh
it's
my god,
shocking. But
that's crazy.
new generations have seen right through it. And they're
Yeah, yeah.
going, that's crazy.
And
Now,
and you,
what
yeah,
stands the test of time
yeah,
with truth?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Churches.
Oh man.
I'm going to run there
Yeah,
because that seems
absolutely,
to be the only thing right
absolutely,
now
absolutely. And
that seems to be holding any good ground.
yeah, yeah. And I share that 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 experience or that view completely. Even before becoming a Christian, I always, because I'm someone who loves watching podcasts and interviews, and since they've been a thing, I just love watching people talk about different topics.
Yeah,
And
you and me both, man. It's great.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, yeah. And I mean, like Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
the famous
He's
Joe
awesome.
Rogan, yeah. And I
Seen how
mean,
much he's opened up to Christianity?
yeah, I seen it,
It's
man. It's
awesome, eh?
amazing. It's
He's
beautiful.
actually attending church, according to Wes
Really.
Huff. Yeah, which is super cool.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. And no, I mean he's not the only one, right? Like a lot. I mean, Russell Brand, right? Russell Brand
Mm,
was a new age spiritual
yeah,
guy, and all of a sudden, he found Christ.
it's
Uh,
super cool.
It
And even
really,
Charlie Kirk. I don't know
Charlie.
if you've seen him
I
much.
know Charlie Kirk, but I just have to remember who that is. I
He
mean, I know the name.
he's just a guy. Like, I mean, our listeners can look him up, but he's a young guy,
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I just
and
have to see his face, and I'm gonna
yeah, he does
remember who he
lots of
is.
university talk, like goes to universities and says mostly politic things like Trump and stuff. But people know he's a Christian and he gets Christian questions all the time. And just recently, he did a podcast with Russell Brand. Is why he came to my mind because you mentioned
Wait a
Russell.
minute, Charlie Kirk. Wait a minute. That
I'll
that
find a picture.
that no, hold on, no. He wait, yeah, wait, hold on. Just before you do, I think I know what you're talking about. The podcast with Russell Brown. That was when Russell Brown took one of his things and started sucking on it.
I
The
didn't.
candy.
I think so.
A blue background, right? Blue background.
Yeah,
Yes, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
guy.
That's the guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a really funny. Yeah,
yeah.
amazing,
He's great.
amazing one, amazing one.
He's got
I love
great.
it.
Like he's just he knows, and this is the cool thing is go talk to this guy, and you challenge him on his beliefs, and he's gonna respond not, oh, because I have faith. Yes, he has faith, but he's gonna respond, I have faith because A B C D E F G. These
Yep.
are my reasons based on a lot of logic, a lot of sound thinking, reason. It's not because it's in the Bible. I trust the Bible because
Sure.
of reason and logic and archaeological evidence and like heaps of reasons to trust the Bible, even outside of just having blind faith.
Yeah.
Dare I say it?
Yeah.
But and that's healthy. I think the reason you want to get to that point, and you only get to that point from asking questions, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Is now you're sure and confident because people are gonna ask questions and they're gonna question me.
sure.
Why do you believe, Joel? And if I say, because my parents believe,
No, that's
it's just not going to hold up in court, is
sure,
it?
sure.
It's not a good enough reason.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's great. I like to hear that you were such an inquisitive thinker from a young age, asking questions and following the logic where it leads, which
yeah,
is cool.
yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like the actual
Okay, so
departure, I suppose. From
yeah, yeah. Okay, so s- okay, so I was gonna get to that. Uh, so after I started having doubts and of course also seeing that when I would ask not my father but other people, because me and my father, like, we were always very close, and he was always very open to me. He studied the religion very, very well, because my father is from Iraq, and over there, the like the educational system, especially back then, was like one of the highest in the world, man. Like,
wow.
really, really good at, like, in terms of Arabic and Islamic studies, it was
Mm.
like
Okay, so he knows his stuff.
yeah, like probably the best at that time, at least one of the best. And he knew his stuff. He knew his Quran. He knew his hadith, all everything, and he would share things with me that even my own, even like the imams in the mosque didn't know. He was like, yeah. So
Wow.
I grew up with that, that kind of man, that father, and he taught me everything that I know about Islam. And of course, I also studied on my own and asked questions here and there, but I always noticed that he knew most. And so anyway, uh, when I would ask other people, I would get this thing like, oh, you're asking too many questions. I'm like, no, no, I'm not. I asked my dad like all these questions, and he never says that I'm asking too many questions. So what are you talking about? Because my father actually always wanted me and my big brother to just he encouraged us always to ask questions and to to be critical of everything. And
Mm.
that's something that really helped me all throughout my life. Even people would ask my father, like, what do you teach your children? Because we never really see you teaching them about how to be a Muslim or how to be this or like what they should be or how they should think or what they should think. And my father would always say to them, all I want them to know is how to use their intelligence. That's all I want them to know. Because I trust that once they know how to use their intelligence, I know that they will find the right path in life.
Yeah,
And that was always his answer.
that's right. Don't be a sheep.
Right.
I mean, in one sense, be a sheep. We were talking about this on Monday, but sheep are dumb. They're
See,
very dumb,
yeah.
really stupid creatures.
I
Don't
mean,
be a sheep and do mob mentality and follow the crowd just because of that's where they're going.
right, yeah.
Know where you're going. Know why you're going there. I mean,
Sure.
you can follow the crowd, but as long as you know why they're going that way,
Right. Yeah, of
like
course.
that's important.
Of course you should always question things, man. That's yeah.
Yeah.
And so so one day, like, I was just like I was kind of fed up. So it took me like around like 1 or 2 years, almost 2 years, at least 1 year, where I was like I still haven't made the decision to like let Islam go,
Mm.
but I was still like in between, and I was just
Yeah.
like trying to like trying to decide, like, should I stay, should I go, like, I don't know, like I was lost at that time. I was really
How
like
old were you at this point?
I was I was 11.
Okay. Yeah.
So so
These are some deep questions for an 11-year-old.
yes, to tell you the truth, I was an old soul since I was a little
Yeah, I
kid.
can tell.
Yeah, like my own dad used to tell me, like, you're too young for these things, man. Just go outside and play. Like
Go kick a ball around.
yeah,
Stop thinking of the universe.
yeah. No, but the thing is, I was very playful, like, and I'm still very playful. I love playing. I just love playfulness. I love to play, to joke around, to climb trees, fall down, like even now, like in my 40s, I still love doing all of that stuff. But even when I was a kid, I was very playful, of course, but I was also I just wanted to know. I always valued truth. I just valued. I want to know the truth.
Mhm.
I don't. I'm not interested in believing this or that. I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know the truth, even if the truth will get me in trouble. I want to
Mm.
know it. So that's what drove me. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's what. Like, So that's what was driving me towards all these questions and seeking and everything. So so at the age of 12, I was like, so I tell my dad, hey, I finally took the decision, and I was like, Dad, I don't think so. At that time, I started believing in everything. So like not just Islam, but God and everything. I told him I don't think God exists, man. I think all of this stuff is made up, just for psychological reasons. And he's like, yeah, I think so too. I was like, what? You never told me this. And he was like, yeah, I didn't want to influence you. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I respect that. So for the first year, at least, I was more like an atheist. But I was not like an atheist in the sense that atheists today, like they got like their own thing going on. Atheist, no. It was like the classical meaning of atheist. I mean, just someone who doesn't believe. Someone who doesn't have a God in his life.
Just weren't convinced.
Yeah, just I think you would call that more like an agnostic because although I was quote unquote atheist, I was still seeking. I was
Yeah.
not like to
I
me.
would put you in the agnostic
Yeah,
camp. Then.
yeah,
You just weren't convinced on Islam,
yeah,
and you weren't saying that God doesn't exist. You just not convinced that
yeah. Well,
is true.
in the beginning, I was saying that God doesn't exist, but
Oh yeah,
yeah, but I was open. I was open to be corrected.
yeah.
Okay, so that was the difference.
I think that's the difference between agnostics and atheists kind of today.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yes, yeah,
today that you find an atheist and they will just say God doesn't exist. I have one of my good friends in New Zealand. I was doing a poker night,
yeah,
just with chips, not real money, just for some fun. And she's a hardcore atheist.
yeah,
And we ended up talking about Christianity, and she was basically quizzing me right on the verge of being an interrogation towards my faith, which is great. I was expecting it, and it's okay.
That comes from insecurity, by the way.
Yeah. Well, she
Like,
ended up.
like
I
why?
answered all of her questions. I felt like quite well, and then I said to her, I quizzed her, and I said, "What would it be? What would actually convince you? What could happen that would convince you
Yeah.
that God's real?"
And what
And
say?
she said, "I don't think anything could."
Wow,
I said, "Then
that's
it's
sad.
not an intellectual issue."
That's sad.
I said, "That's a heart issue
Yeah, yeah,
because you're choosing, even when evidence slaps you in the face,
yeah,
you're choosing to not look at it."
yeah.
I said, "That's faith. You got more faith." I said, "You
Exactly.
got more faith than I do."
I don't have enough
Because-
faith to be an atheist.
Yeah, that's right.
someone-
Frank Turek,
Yeah, right.
And I said, "You got faith." Because I don't even have faith to believe like that to believe in Christianity. I believe in Christianity because the evidence does slap me in the face. and
Yeah,
and it
that's
was
true.
like the
That's-
biggest slap in the face that she had ever. She was like, "Oh yeah, maybe." Oh,
yeah. No, that's true, man. I mean, atheists don't realize how much faith they need.
That's a huge amount of faith.
Incredibly,
It's
yeah,
way more than any other religion. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, way more than what's required, at least.
You need this much faith as a mustard seed to move a mountain.
Man,
Atheists should be
they're
able to move universes.
exactly. They're moving the whole universe, the Big Bangs and everything. Oh man, like oh man, yeah, to believe in, like, yeah, like all these things that they consider science and everything, but they're all like based on faith too. Like, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's a whole
It's a whole nother
that's a
rabbit
whole other
hole.
topic, man. Yeah, let's just stay where we are now. Okay.
Okay, so tell me, you were
so-
kind of agnostic atheist at this point.
Yeah. So here,
Yeah.
I'll continue. So one of the things I didn't really mention was that from a very young age, like much younger than that, like around the age of 6 and 7, I became a martial artist. I was really, really fascinated with martial arts and just being someone who can, who can defend the people, who can defend those who are in need, and of course defend myself if I'm ever attacked. I want to be strong and everything, but I've always had this like, I think a lot of us at that time, around the 80s, because I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Uh, all the shows that we used to watch, at least from where I was, but maybe the whole world. All the shows and the cartoons and the movies were always, uh,
Martial art,
yeah, no, but I mean, like
like fighting.
they're always like oriented towards justice, right? Like you always saw this bad guy trying to destroy something, and then this good guy would come, and yeah, he's the good guy, you know what I mean? And
Mm,
so we all grew up with this sense of good, like yeah, like I want to be the good guy, man. Like at that time, being the good guy was cool.
mm.
Now, when you look at like Netflix and all these things, like you see a lot of the main characters are like psychopaths or
Like
murderers.
Breaking Bad
Yeah,
is
I
a
mean,
good example of
yeah,
that.
don't get me wrong. They're like really great stories, but I
But
also
you
know,
start rooting for the bad guy.
yeah, and that's not normal, man.
No,
Like,
it's
you
not.
know what I mean? And that's something that we should question. Like, why is this being done to us? Because it's being done. It's being
Oh
done.
yeah,
Yeah. So
indoctrinating our
y-
mindset. I think
yeah.
into a
And so
yeah,
it almost seems like someone or something or some people don't want humanity to have this sense of justice, this sense of yes, like we should stand up and fight for what is good.
mm,
They want to take that away from us, and that's very like that should be very like alarming to everyone. So anyway, I grew up with that spirit, and of course, so so I practiced martial arts. I started practicing taekwondo, and later on, I started studying the history of martial arts just by myself. Like it was not something taught at school or in the dojo or the place where you we practice. And by doing that, I discovered Buddhism, spirituality through Buddhism, right? Through Buddhism, Taoism, all these things, right? I was a huge fan of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, although was not a really like he was not a religious figure. He was actually an atheist. He was like openly atheist. He would say that like in his interviews. He didn't believe in anything, but he always portrayed this spiritual side of him. He was always very like inquisitive, like
inquisitive. Yeah,
yeah, inquisitive, and he had a very strong sense of justice. He was a good man. He was not like someone who would harm weak people or whatever. He was always there to defend the poor, to defend. So that really like spoke to me, and so later I would notice that I would get into like Zen Buddhism, where we go to the Shaolin Temple, right, in China, and then it's like so now I'm getting into Buddhism and the history of Buddhism because it's very much linked to martial arts because the martial arts, at least of China or Asia or Japan or these far eastern countries, are very much uh, uh, like they have like are very much part of Buddhism, part of the Buddhist view on life. Just be good, be compassionate. A martial arts is not someone who is violent or who is destructive, but he's someone who you can depend on, someone who is courageous and stands up for what is right. Like all these things, and I was always fascinated by that, and that's how I was too. Like I wanted to be that. So anyway, I'm here and studying about Buddhism, and now studying about Buddhism like at the age of 13. And that was around the time when we started having the internet in Morocco.
mm.
So I would go to the internet, I would look up all these things because we didn't have any books on that. Some of the magazines that I used to buy, which spoke about martial arts, mentioned some things like that here and there. Okay, so like studying that, I became very I started to embrace this way of life because Zen Buddhism especially is more about a way of life. It's not really it's not like faith based. It's more like a way of life and just how you live your life, how
It's
you
kind of
want.
like a hippie. You
No, not
know, where
not
they're not really a religion.
no. Yeah, no, not. I wouldn't say that. No, like, maybe
Oh, no,
today.
not like a hippie. I mean, like that's a lifestyle. Like there's no religion attached to hippie people.
Yeah, but I've never really like compared it to that in
Not
any
saying they're
sense.
the
In any
same,
sense.
but
No,
like
sure,
that's
sure.
a lifestyle people choose to live.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean,
Maybe not.
I don't really know much about hippie lifestyle because I know that a lot of them just do whatever they want. No, no, no. But Zen Buddhism, for example, is a life of principle. Okay,
Mm.
it's very principled. We don't just do what we want, like because I think that's how the hippies are. Yeah, just free love, free this, whatever. No, no, no. Zen Buddhism is very much a principled life. Like like the difference between right and wrong. It's almost like it's almost religious. It's actually like there's a religious part of it, but it doesn't have God as the at the center of it. Like it doesn't. It's very they touch on a lot of sacred things,
Mm.
uh, but they don't talk about God. But you can see that it's very godly. So that right there really attracted me because I was kind of turned off by God and I didn't want to have anything to do with
Yeah.
God, but I needed something spiritual in my life. So that
Mm.
was perfect for me.
All right.
And Buddhism or Zen Buddhism in this case, it points to like the main thing about it is to help you know yourself.
Mm.
Just like how Jesus says, know thyself, right? I think Jesus said that. Did he say that? I think he did.
Know thyself.
Know thyself. I mean, it's somewhere in the
Uh,
Bible, but I don't. Anyway, it's okay. Anyway,
don't know.
I don't know.
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I think it's biblical, but anyway, it's fine.
Sounds biblical
Yeah, yeah.
when you add thy.
Thy, right? No, no, but no, but I'm pretty sure it is. I just can't remember the verse. But anyway, so uh, it was mainly about meditation, in the sense of observing what goes on within you, so that you can see your mind for what it is, and by seeing your mind for what it is, now you're no longer a victim of your mind. You're no longer a prisoner of your mind, because the mind, if it's the mind can be conditioned in a certain way, and now we think we are our mind, but actually Zen Buddhism shows us through the experience of meditation that actually our mind can our mind can be fashioned in any way, from like by society or by our education or by our upbringing, anything, but that's not necessarily who we are. We are more than what our mind is. And so now you're touching on something that has to do with the soul, with the spirit. And so now you kind of like distinguish between the conditioned mind and who you really are behind or beyond that conditioned mind. So it really helped me. And that's where I started getting into what we call spirituality, because now I found access beyond the mind, beyond the conditioning of how I was brought up. And so I started to see the conditioning of everyone around me. And I'm like, oh my God, if only people knew about Zen Buddhism. So I became like this Zen Buddhist advocate all of a sudden. I'm
Wow.
like,
The Zen evangelist.
yeah. But
Zen evangelist.
Zen, exactly. So, and then I just, so it kept going. So that was just like the beginning of my journey, almost. And it got me to know myself better. It got me to know things beyond the thought, beyond the. And so now I'm just seeking. I'm just like asking questions, and I'm just open to knowing whatever is there, whatever is true.
Can I ask a question on Zen Buddhism?
Yes.
You said that you guys understand right and wrong.
Yeah.
So where in the religion does that derive from?
Very good question.
Yeah.
So Zen Buddhism is very different than other religions, where there's like a book which is like an authority, like the Word of God for the Bible and everything. Zen Buddhism actually connects you to that which we call God, but through a different mean, through meditation. Because what we see, so let me try to say it this way. When we go into meditation and so we practice meditation, meaning uh, looking at things beyond the mind, actually, if you look at it, the only thing that's the, the the only thing that comes between us and the truth or God is our conditioned mind. When you go beyond that conditioned mind, now you have direct access to God. Basically, you may not know who God really is, or if he's Jesus or not Jesus, or but you have a certain access to God's grace, and by doing that, Zen Buddhists act or are. I mean, they don't act, but like they actually are very godly people. They don't talk about God, but you see just in the way that they are, just in the way that they treat people and animals and everything. It's almost like how the prophets were, like very like they're full of compassion, they're full of
Right.
love.
But what my question is why is compassion or love,
Yeah.
why is that good according to their worldview?
Okay, yes. So that's what I'm trying to say. That is that just comes as an intrinsic understanding uh as one goes deeper into meditation. It
But
just
is
becomes
it
so
subjective though?
no. So what I'm saying is, it just becomes so obvious that that's just the way of like the way of truth. Actually, basically, that's just the way of God. We just we just come to realize it. Actually,
Yeah.
it's a realization that we all have deep within
I
us.
know like you can realize it, but
Yeah.
there's the question is not realizing something is true. My question is why like is that the fact that something is good and something is bad for from the Christian point of view, something is good because it's slightly everything you have things that are good and then you have things that are better and things that are better, right? So there's a hierarchy of things that are better
Hmm.
in the universe, according to the Christian's universe. And you have a hierarchy of things that are worse than each other until you get to the point where you get to evil,
Yeah.
right? Now, if you keep following good in Christianity, it leads to the ultimate good, which is God.
Hmm.
That is, there's nothing that can outdo. There is something at the top.
Yeah.
So we can measure
Hmm.
things on how good something is because there is a measuring pole towards God is at the top. Oh yeah, it's about this good here. So there's a measuring pole. But my question is, if you was in Buddhism, if there's nothing at the end of the good, at the top of the measuring pole, we have God. That's our
Yeah.
ultimate highest point of good. What is the Zen Buddhists' top of the measuring pole? That they
Yes.
go, that's good, and we say it's good because it's God.
Yes. So Buddhists have an equivalent of God, although they don't call it God, maybe as Christians do.
Yeah.
But there is always something like
What do they call it?
equivalent. Uh, they just call it dharma. So dharma is the law. So the law is like the is it could mean the law of Buddha, which Buddha from his experience of enlightenment has just realized like the actual law of life.
I've always wondered why is that a good thing though?
But yeah, okay. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to say that.
Yeah, sorry.
So so because it comes from realize it's because listen, no knowledge is true knowledge unless there's a realization of that knowledge. Like knowledge is not just something I read and uh, and apply or just I gather information. It's something that has to actually has to transform me in a certain way, or touch me in a very deep way, or give me a transcendental experience. So the experience of enlightenment that we find that that they speak about in Buddhism, and of course enlightenment is not only limited to Buddhism, but Buddhism um is centered around this concept of enlightenment. Is that enlightenment is this mysterious but immensely beautiful and profound experience that just connects the individual to the mystery, which 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 they don't really have a name for it. That's the thing. Buddha never really was interested to give it a name. Uh, so therefore, why like people would ask Buddha, did God exist? And like, does God exist? And 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 he was said to never like have answered that question. When someone said, "I don't believe in God," he didn't answer. And when someone said, "I believe in God," he never answered. He was more interested in people knowing through experience, through experiencing other people's pain and feeling compassion to want to help them, or or self-sacrifice or something. That goodness that's in there,
But why is it good?
because it's experienced that way. Because there's no other way to experience it.
Well,
That's the law.
if I kill you and take all your stuff, it's good for me because I have
You
stuff,
think
but it's bad for you. But
you,
there's
you think it's good. You think it's good. Why? Because you're
no,
still
I
living.
still think it's bad.
No, 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 no. I know, I know,
But
I know, I know.
the difference is if it benefits you, doesn't mean it's always good.
No, no. Someone may think it's good if they're in that mindset because they're still in their mind. That's where
I don't
meditation
think
comes in.
anyone thinks it's good though. That's my point.
No,
Is just
but
because it benefits me doesn't make it a good thing.
so it
Because
doesn't.
I received all of your things, I
So it,
stole your money.
so it doesn't benefit you.
It does benefit me.
So you think it's good.
No, benefiting me and good are not the same thing.
I mean, it's either that or the other.
No, does it benefit me if I have more money?
Well, you just said that it benefits you, no?
Yes, that's my question. Does it benefit me? Yes, it would. It would be. Does it benefit you if you have more money?
Not if I steal it.
No, but it's still benefiting you. You're in a
No.
better position.
No, of course
But
not.
it's not morally good,
Look,
is what I'm saying.
it may seem that way, but not everything is as it seems. So that's where we come into what we call wisdom. So wisdom is a very big part of Buddhism. So for example, so now I'm back to my Buddhist preaching day. That's kidding.
It's good. I'm interested.
Yeah, no, but it's actually, like the interesting thing is this actually is very much in line with Jesus' teachings. It's not like opposite to it.
Well,
It's just,
the reason I was bringing up the benefiting thing, it's quite important.
of course,
This
of course,
distinction
of course. Let me, yeah.
is because if you think that because you benefit, there must be good, that's actually false.
You may I'm not talking about you, of course, but just someone in general. If someone actually steals or harms someone and think that it's beneficial to them, that's because they are still trapped in their mind. Because the thing is in Buddhism we talk a lot about the mind. When the mind is conditioned in a certain way, it can be conditioned in a way that makes you think anything is okay or not okay. That's what condition is. Conditioning is it's a programming. If someone is programmed either by I mean it could be by by circumstances or by ignorance or by anything, programmed to believe that, oh, it's going to benefit me to go to this person and take everything they have and now I'm better than him, than them. This
You're not better.
I
But
know,
you
I
might
know.
be in a more beneficial
No, no,
place.
no, no. But the point is that person who thinks that way is still asleep in their mind. They're not really awake. So enlightenment is a kind of wakefulness. When one reaches enlightenment, and we can also call it, a transcendental experience of life. You no longer see life through the limited lens of your mind and your little existence. Now you see it from a broader and now the more you see it from that point, now you're like, yeah, it's not going to benefit me. Even if I take what he has, and what he has is good, but something in you is not going to be okay with it because now so now we get into sin, or what we call in Buddhism
I
as
get.
karma.
That's my
There's
point.
bad karma. You know what I mean?
Yes, things
Ba-
that are bad are not good for the soul.
So
I agree with that.
no, yeah, but let me just make this clear. Buddhists talk a lot about karma, bad karma, good karma.
Yeah.
So when you do good, good will come back to you, and when you do bad, bad will come back to you. And this is like just like this is just the law
Do you think that's true?
of course,
Yeah.
of
Why
course
do
it is.
bad things happen to good people?
Well, though they seem bad.
You
Yes.
reckon it's all karma? So
So
I think bad things do happen to good people all the time.
yes, but but it's different because look, sometimes something that you might think is bad is actually much better. Uh, it's something like there's something beneficial about it. But listen, when like bad can be on different levels. I could be at peace. I could be at peace with myself, and I know that I'm following God. I know that I'm a I'm not harming, and I'm not. But bad things happen to me, but I'm still at peace. I
Sure.
I take that bad, quote unquote, in a very different sense than how someone might, for example, harm someone and then something terrible happened to them. That's very different. That's like, oh, this is happening to me, for a reason actually, because I wasn't good. But
How do
when,
you explain the disciples getting martyred?
oh man, that's
Because they are good doing sharing the good news, the first ones to share the good news,
because
and
be,
they all get killed.
it's not because they were, yeah, that's see, these questions are very good, but they're also very profound, and
Well, I
they
think
they
I
need,
think you're almost right. It's on this side of heaven. So
you
on the
see,
next side of heaven, there is reward.
yes, but
Yeah.
yeah, but let me tell you,
So they are
when,
rewarded. So the karma is like
of course,
applied
of
to
course,
them still.
of course,
Yeah.
look, no one said,
I
no
was
one,
just playing the devil's advocate for a second.
yes, no, that's fine, no, that's absolutely fine. No one said that once you have faith in God, nothing hard will ever happen to you.
Opposite, actually.
Opposite, right? Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But that's not the point. Like bad things happening. Who said who? Who are we to say it's bad? Maybe that's a blessing in disguise. So it's not always how we see things, but so these things need a profound perception. So someone who lives in a bad way, like he harms people, he's not considerate of others, and then something terrible happens to him, it's not just harming his body, it's harming his soul.
Mm,
But
yeah.
so that's the difference. When someone who is doing good or living honestly, something bad happens to him, it's not harming his soul at all.
Mm,
If anything, it's strengthening his soul. So that's the key difference.
yeah.
It may be harming him physically or making life harder, but that just strengthens his faith because he knows that that's not happening to him he's not taking it personally because he knows it's not against his goodness. At least not from, like, it's not a punishment from God because he's good or anything. Maybe it could maybe be a punishment from society because society don't like good people, or because they don't like, like how the Christians were martyred, the first Christians. And but see, that's the mystery of God. God would, you know, God knows that our life gets a lot harder, but at the same time, that just strengthens our faith. And these are things that we cannot even ask God, like, hey, God, please make my life harder so that my faith gets stronger. No, we don't have the wisdom to ask that. But God has so much infinite wisdom to know what to put us through
Mm,
in order to make us stronger in faith, closer to Him. And that's where faith comes in. That's where belief in Him comes in. Like, listen, God, I'm not going to go through the analyzing of why this happens to me. Oh, it's because it's good for me because I'm going to have faith. No, that would be ridiculous. But God knows all of that. And all He says through His infinite mercy is just put your faith in me. Anything that happens to you, just keep your faith in me. And He knows that once we keep in faith, our faith in Him, no matter how much hardship we go through, it just brings us closer to Him.
mm,
That's much different than someone having harm. I mean, having bad things or uh, um, misery fall upon them because they were bad people in the world. That actually harms their soul, or actually shakes their soul. If it uh, shakes up their soul, it could be a wake up call. It could be like, hey, listen, like I told you not to do that, because God talks to us. We just don't listen. A lot of people don't listen, but sometimes we do, right? People do listen. If you really pay attention, you start to really hear, yeah, there's someone really looking out for me. And sometimes you hear this voice, we could call it a voice. It's not really in our ear. It's not really a voice like we hear each other talking, but it could be. where we're given these warnings, and when we don't obey, we can immediately see the outcome. And this brings me to my second, to I mean to the next part of my story.
Okay. We should probably carry on with your story. These are great though.
Yes,
These conversations.
yes.
Yeah.
This is what happened to me. I was, like I said, I was into Buddhism, and for me, it was just also a way to discover myself. I was growing up. I was a young teenager, and I wanted to know about life and about just deeper truths of life, right? So, I'm not believing in God. I'm not believing in even the soul. I'm not even like I'm not even like, because I was very scientifically oriented or whatever. Like I was very like, I wanted to have scientific evidence for everything, but I was not closed minded, to the point where everything had to be proven in a laboratory in order to be true. I was open to seeing proof even outside of the laboratory. Okay, so I was not like one of those scientific people. Um, my first experience with the transcendental, with the divine, I should say, was when I was 14 years old. I was going back home from school on a bicycle. I would always take the same route, always. That day, it was a Saturday. It was a very beautiful day. It was like spring, and very sunny, very blue sky and everything. I was, my t-shirt, going down, and I would always go down this big road. It's like an empty road, big road, and there was like some streets, on this side, and then the last turn. I was always I would always take the last turn, always. That day, for some reason, I don't know what happened. I mean, now I kind of know, but when I reach the one before the last, okay, the street before the last, this voice out of nowhere just shouts in my head. And hear this. I was like in my own thoughts. I was like imagining stuff and just thinking about stuff, and I wasn't like, trying to I wasn't like expecting something to come in my head. But this never happened to me ever in my life before that. Something just shouted in my head, "Be careful. Take this street. Don't take the other one." It was so powerful that I had to stop my bike. And
Wow.
yeah, and I stopped my bike and I was like, "What the hell just happened? Am I going crazy? What is this?" Because I could tell, even as a 14-year-old, I could tell that's not my thought.
Hmm.
It was like my mind was
It's also
invaded.
so random as well.
Incredibly
Like
random.
your
Yeah.
thoughts don't
Yeah.
operate schizophrenically.
Yeah, yeah, no, no,
You
no.
know.
This was like, and that's why I thought am I going crazy? Like, who is
Yeah.
this? Who is this talking to my voice? Like, is that another part of me that I never knew about? Like, what is this? It felt really weird. Like, and I stayed there for at least 2 or 3 minutes, just trying to figure out like,
Just processing that.
yeah, yeah, just like what is happening to me? Like, what is
Interesting.
this? Yeah, and then I was like, why would this voice even tell me to go in this street and not in the last one? Like, for what reason? Anyway, I ended up convincing myself that it's just my subconscious, and I'm like, come on, man, don't be,
Oh,
don't
so
be.
you ignored it.
Yes, I ignored it. Don't be ridiculous.
Interesting.
Yeah, I told myself, hey, man, don't be ridiculous. You don't believe in this stuff. This is nonsense. This is just your subconscious mind. Of course, of course. Come on, man. Whatever. I dismissed everything it said. I didn't go in that street that it told me to go to. I continued on the same way that it warned me against. As soon as I got into that road, man, I saw this group of kids who were like 1 or 2 years older than me. One of them I knew from my neighborhood. I just knew from a distance. My friends were telling me that guy is a bad guy. Like watch out. He hangs out with bad kids and they steal and they rob people and everything. And I was like, just like riding my bike slowly. It was weird, man. Like it was almost like it was orchestrated somehow. Because the thing is here, I was riding, and this kid who I know from a distance, the bad kid. He was like the one closest to me. Like I was like I was riding behind them. Okay, so so they were walking. They were also going back from school, and he was like the one that was like in the back. And as soon as I like approached him, I don't know why, but he just turned around, and my eyes locked with his eyes, and I just like so like my heart just jumped. I was like, whoa. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he already saw me with his like with my friends who he knows, but they're not really his friends. You know what I mean? He's always like hang out with the bad kids. And so like so I just try to keep my cool, and I just like I just do this, and he does that, and then I just try to ride very slowly next to him, and then he tries to hold my bike, and as soon as I feel him holding my bike, I just run like I pedal very fast, and next thing I know, him and his friends are chasing me. Yep, they take me like they catch me, they take me off the bike. One guy steals my bike and goes somewhere. The other guy tries to take my bag. One takes my cap. One is trying to take my watch, and I'm in complete shock. I'm like, what is going on, man? And I'm at the same time I'm trying to like defend myself. I'm like, at this point I'm not. I was so in shock that I couldn't even fight. I was afraid. I was really afraid. I was like, oh my god, like I'm outnumbered, and one took my bike, and even if I beat some of these guys up, the guy who took my bike is just gonna take it.
It's true. Well, could you do martial arts at this point?
Yeah,
Oh,
I can.
so
I can.
you actually could defend yourself,
Yeah,
but there
yeah,
was a lot of them.
yeah. But the thing is, they were not hitting me. They were not trying to fight me. They were just
Just take
taking my stuff and like, yeah,
and
take his
running.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. So at this point, before getting to the point where I feel like I have to fight, because I was still in shock and I didn't know like what was going on. If this is just a joke, or I don't know. Like I just couldn't think. Like
Mm.
my thoughts completely stopped. And I'm also thinking about the warning that I just got. I'm like, what is
Yeah, true.
like? Is this a coincidence or what? What?
Mm.
I'm just like all over the place. And I'm so like all I'm doing at this point is like, no, give me that. No, 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 don't no, don't take my stuff. No, hey, no, give me no, give that back. No, stop it. No. And they're just like laughing, and like they're not being aggressive or anything, but they're just being jerks,
Yeah.
taking my stuff and like, hey, yeah, take
So it's
his
not
things.
like a full on mugging. They're just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, yeah, just being jerks. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was afraid because I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah. It
And
could escalate.
yeah,
Definitely.
it could escalate. And the thing is, I love my bike,
Mm.
and one of them took my bike and ran with it, and I don't want to risk like losing it forever. So I'm trying to maybe find a way to like just like, hey guys, come on, stop it, man, come on, come on, man, no, 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 don't touch me, come on, man, give me my
Yeah.
stuff. I'm just trying to like, because if I start fighting, then that's it. Like there's no going back to like, hey man, okay, here's your bike. The guy just went off with my
Yeah.
bike. Anyway, so as I'm here trying to figure out what's happening, um, I'm like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, next thing that happens, that kid who kind of knows me, he doesn't really know me, he just saw me with, the kid who already saw me, he's like, hey man, we're just messing around, man. Like you think we're really gonna take your stuff? Don't be afraid, man. Come on, yeah, like relax. Hey guys, come on, give him back his stuff. And every one of them gave me back every last thing that they took, except for the guy who took my bike. And I was like, what about my bike? And he was like, oh, it's okay. Just go up to him and ask him for your bike. He's gonna give it to you. And of course, I didn't believe anything
Yeah.
in this guy said. Like, come on, man. Like, are you serious? No, 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 no. Just go take your bike. But I didn't have any choice. I just had to try. So so they let me go. I went there. So the guy was like pedaling very slowly.
Mm.
So I was able to get to reach him. I was like, hey. He turned around. I was like, give me back my bike. I was like, oh, okay, here you go. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Wow.
Yeah,
It's almost like there was this warning that the Holy Spirit gave you. You ignored it, and then these guys potentially could have had much worse plans for you.
yeah,
And it was like the Holy Spirit intervened again on their hearts
yeah,
to
yeah,
have mercy
yeah,
And
I
then
never thought about that like that.
yeah,
Seriously, I never thought about it.
like a second, like I've still got you, even though you're gonna ignore my instruction, my son, would be what the Holy Spirit's saying. Even when that's happening, I've still got you. That's cool, you know,
Yeah.
hearing it like that.
And the thing is, when I took my bike and I just drove off, I felt that entity that spoke to me, or
Yeah,
because at that time I didn't think, oh, that's God, because I don't have a
absolutely.
God in my mind. I
Yeah,
don't believe in a
last
God.
thing on your mind.
Yeah, I feel him saying, "I told you so."
Yeah,
Next time, listen to me.
yeah, I bet.
He said that. I was 14 at the time, and I couldn't believe it. But anyways, I had no explanation how. So after that, I was like, how did I get that? Because I started to like put things together. Sorry, it's like I started to put that having that voice speak to me, and then that happening. Is that a coincidence or is that real? Like, what is this?
Yeah,
And then,
couldn't be a coincidence. It's too random.
but
Yeah.
yeah, and I knew that the second time this happened, and I'm going to tell you about the
Oh,
second time.
cool.
Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah, yeah. Let's
Okay,
go.
cool. The second time this happened was 3 years later.
Yeah.
It didn't happen for 3 years. Only 3 years later, I was 17 years old, and I was going back. This time, it was not from school; it was from the kung fu class. I was taking kung fu that time, and I was on my bike again. I can't remember if it's the same bike or no, but anyway, that's not that's beside the point. Um, it was a Saturday night, I remember, and we finished the kung fu class at around 9-ish p.m. and it takes me about like 15 minutes to go from there to home, right? And I would always take the same road as usual. I would go on this big road. So there's this big road in my neighborhood with like with a lot of shops and a lot of cars and whatever, like the main road, right? But we didn't live on the main road. Like we lived in a small street, like way down that small street
Mm.
until we reached that like the end of the small street, and that's where our house was. I was driving on the main road. Okay, so here's the main road. I would go up the main road. Okay, here's the main road, and then the small street was like this, and then I would always go up the main road until I reached my small street, and then I go down the small street. This time, before I reached this part, next to this small street, there are of course like there's like other streets and other main roads here. I was a bit further here, and that's when the voice spoke to me again and said, "Get off the main road. Get off the main road. Go home, but go home only through the small alleys. So don't go all the way to on the main road and then go in your small street. Go from here to the small alleys
Mm.
and go home." And this time, I was like, you know what? I remember the first time you spoke to
I'm
me.
gonna listen.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
You spoke to me the first time, and I saw what happened to me. This time, I know I have no reason to believe in this.
Mm.
I know that it doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm going to choose to believe in you this time and follow what you say.
Mm.
And I did it. I went in the small streets as it told me. I went home. Nothing happened. I didn't know if something was going to happen. I didn't have any proof. I slept. The next morning, I got a confirmation of what happened. Next morning, Sunday morning, I get a call from a friend. This girl, her name is Melek. I don't know, she might be watching or no, but kind of lost touch. But I was really in love with her at that time. But we were friends, and she had just started like seeing this other guy who was also her friend, and I was like completely heartbroken over that. But she was still my friend, and yeah. Anyway, she calls me and she's crying, and I'm like, "What's going on? Like, tell me, are you okay?" She's like, "It's Ali, it's Ali." Like, what happened? What happened to Ali? Ali is the guy she was seeing. Our common friend. He's a really nice guy, but he had a really tough life, tough childhood. He was really depressed, and God rest his soul. He was told by his father, by his dad, that like the meanest things. Like his father used to tell him, "We never intended for you to be born. Like you're just an accident." You know what I mean? Like how devastating would that be to tell your son that? I felt really sorry for him. I felt really bad for him, and I really like. He was not my close friend, but I had so much love for him. I had so much compassion for him, and I really felt for him. And she told me he died. He died last night. I was like, "What happened? Tell me what happened." And she's like, "Didn't you hear? There was a huge accident, like right beside your street on the main road."
Whoa.
And I was like, "What? Where?" And she was like, "Yeah, just." And as she's saying this, I'm like, "Oh my God!" And I remember
Mm.
last night the voice speaking to me, and I know, So okay, so listen, when the voice spoke to me, because like I said, from my kung fu class to my house, it takes me 15 minutes to get there. I was almost home, so it was like 9:13,
Mm.
9:14, 9:13 or 14, and I still remember that because when the voice spoke to me, I don't know for what reason, but I just had the urge to look at the time. I still remember this very clearly. I looked at the time. It was like 1913. Oh, sorry, 9:13 or around that. Like yeah, like almost 9:14. And and I asked her, wait a minute, what time did this happen? And she was like, it was around 9:15.
Wow. Man.
And and she said a lot of people got hurt. Like a lot of pedestrians got hurt. Like cars crashed into each other because Ali, this kid, and his friends were driving this like four-wheeler, right? Four-wheeler? Like
Like a quad bike?
no, sorry, no, not four-wheeler. Like a Jeep, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, four-wheeler is the wrong term. Um and they were drunk because it was Saturday night and people doing crazy stuff. But it was funny because when I was on that road, it was not full.
Mm.
It was pretty calm. So when that voice came and said, "Hey, get off the main road," I was like, I know I had no reason to believe him because the road seemed really really
Mm.
okay, but I obeyed him.
Yeah.
And then the next day, my friend calls me crying, telling me that a huge accident happened right around that place,
Wow.
and it was actually like literally the next streets away from when I got that voice
Yeah.
up up to where I have to turn, on the street, the street that I lived in. So all that place, all that part.
Yeah.
And when she said that, I just couldn't believe it. And
Man. I've had a voice happen to me once as well.
yeah,
Um, this was when I was doing lots of drinking. Before I really decided to follow the Lord with everything. And some friends call me up and they go, it was like a Thursday, and they say, oh, let's go to the city and go to this pub and have a good time.
yeah,
And I remember this voice saying, don't. Just that.
wow,
That's all they said,
yeah,
don't.
exactly. He
And
never explains why.
no,
He just says no.
just say don't.
Yeah,
And I was like, I don't think I should. I got nothing to lose.
right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I'll be
Oh
fine.
my. Oh my God. Yeah, I know.
And we get to this to the normal bar that we go to,
Hmm.
and I have this drink, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know why I was so concerned.
Hmm.
And then I wake up the next morning.
Wait, sorry.
That was it.
Wait, sorry. You said you were concerned. What do you mean?
I was concerned because I heard that voice.
Oh, so you.
I was like, I
So you
don't
actually.
think I should go. I
Oh,
don't know why I shouldn't go,
okay.
but I don't think I should go. So I articulated that in my mind because I heard this
Yes,
voice,
but you went anyway.
and I went anyway.
Okay. And so sorry. I just wanna.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanna get this clear. Right. When you went anyway, did you feel like Oh, some
I
like
probably shouldn't be doing this. Yeah,
okay, okay,
I
okay.
felt that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was like, I don't think I should be doing this, but
yeah.
my
Some
mind was going, there's nothing, nothing could go wrong. I should be fine.
That's the problem with the mind, man.
And then I have one beer, and then I wake up the next morning. Just, I think I was drugged. In all honesty, I have no idea what happened.
My God,
And my car's smashed up
what? Your car smashed up.
in my driveway.
And did you ask your friends or someone who was
I
with you?
I still have nope. I still have no idea how I got home. Yeah, and like the whole side of my car is like smashed in.
What?
Yeah,
Wait, but like, who was with you like that night? Was someone with you? Like, were
yeah,
you?
yeah. I had a couple of friends with me.
And did you
I drove into town, into the city, and
did you ask them like, do you guys remember what happened or?
they all took taxis home. I'm guessing, and
Oh, so okay, so they didn't see what happened like after
no,
that.
no, I honestly wasn't. I for years thought I must have gotten so drunk and drunk drove, but looking at this one particular night, I'm like, I can't remember anything from the first beer.
Yeah, you just took one beer,
Like it was, and it's black, and I'm
black.
like the whole blank,
Oh,
like
okay.
just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
blacked out, and I like, and my friend said I was fine, like I was just partying like normal, but I obviously wasn't there.
Oh my
Something had
God.
happened. Somebody had drugged my drink, and I would never drive home either. And
Wait, what?
I must have driven home and smashed up my car. I don't even know where I crashed. I just got the car home. I must have got the car home somehow. And yeah, just. But I remember that voice and was saying, don't go. And thinking, because I had gone into the pub before with
Yeah.
friends and been,
So
normal night, just have fun, enjoy, and then, get a taxi home and it's okay. And I go get my car in the morning. And then this one night, just the whole night disappeared after one beer. I remember that. I didn't even finish the beer. It was just
oh my God, really? So like just like one sip
like
or
I
a
was
few sips,
I was drinking it. So they were these big
jugs.
jugs,
Yeah.
which are about a liter
Yeah,
of
okay.
beer. So, but I didn't finish it.
And so your friends who said that, yeah, like you were fine and everything, you were dancing, you don't remember anything beyond that first
Yeah,
drink that you
nothing.
took.
Yeah,
Wow,
nothing at all.
wow. I mean, who would drug like I mean, who would
Who
do?
would drug me?
Yeah, I
I have
mean,
no idea.
you know what? Sorry, let me just because like as you're saying this, my mind or I don't know, I'm getting things that I would like to just share. I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating because you said you might have been drugged. It might have been even something else. It sounds even like I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, sounds like some kind of poisoning, but even it could even be some kind of I don't want to say spell, but
Yeah,
like
maybe.
something strange, something really strange.
It was really weird.
Like maybe
Yeah.
because I know that drinks can be sometimes like things in general, but even especially things that we consume can be
Mm.
cursed. Like it may not even be like intended for you per se, but just cursed, and then it could have some kind of like
Mm.
reaction like this.
Yeah, it was
Because
really
because
strange.
it's yeah very
And the worst
strange.
part is I had a small accident with my car, and I had just fixed it. So I had my car had somebody had backed into it, and I had to go get it fixed. And I had just got it back from the mechanic, and then
They
it got
smashed it again.
smashed up. And
Man,
I'm like, you're kidding? Yeah. And
that's sound that
I was so worried that I had hurt somebody.
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know. I still, to this day, have no idea
If you hurt anybody,
yeah, I don't know what happened to the car, nothing.
I mean, I mean, I'm sure nothing happened to anyone else. I mean, I'm sure
Mm.
if you, I mean, I'm sure if you did, they would have found you. Like, hey, yeah, that's the guy, or
Yeah,
they got your plate
I think I
thing.
just hit some something on the side of the road. Probably, I don't know. Hard
This
to say.
this sounds kind of like what happened to me. Like when like I'm not talking about the car crash or anything, but that voice, like when he said don't, and then you don't obey, and then he keeps you alive and says like, you see what happens when you didn't listen to me.
Yeah,
Next time it's kind of
Le-
like a warning.
legit. I was thinking
Yeah,
I could be dead or I could be in a wheelchair,
yeah,
and the worst part is I had a warning.
yeah,
Like it wasn't like life happens, you know. It was a foot. Like if I had killed somebody or maybe I was even raped, I don't even know. Like I wouldn't be able to say. Um, and yeah,
no, yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound like anything happened to you, but it sounds like there was like a potential danger, like a
mm,
really potential danger,
yeah.
and like a strong warning,
And I
like
remember waking up
yes,
in the morning, like literally going, "Oh, well, man, that was must have been a wild night." Just think, like I was okay, and like I wasn't harmed. And I walked out to the car and looking at the shock
wow.
of my car being messed up, going, "What the heck just happened? What happened to my car?" Like I was like, didn't even, I didn't even consider that I had done
It's
it.
crazy.
Literally, it was like, what? Yeah,
I'm I'm pretty sure when that happened to you, like you were like, I just wish someone was with me so that they can tell me what happened.
yeah.
Like that's crazy. Like everyone just left, and
I was
then
so concerned though that like I didn't know what.
like I'm so curious. Like just hearing the story,
Yeah,
I just want to hear like someone who witnessed that so they can be like, yeah, this is what I saw. What happened?
yeah.
It's like it's like a movie. Like when
My
there's like a
friends don't.
mystery.
They don't even know. They just said that I was acting normal. They lost me at a certain part of the night, and then yeah, I just messaged them a few days later. I was so embarrassed by it as well. Like it took me a long time to kind of figure out that I might have been drugged, because
Oh,
for a long time, for a couple of months, I thought I must have been that drunk, but then I was going through my steps and I'm thinking, I actually didn't have much money at the time either. I didn't actually have enough money on me
hmm.
to get drunk. Like
Okay.
I could
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
one, maybe two beers,
Oh wow. Yeah.
and I was just gonna have like kind of a late night, not actually stay out all night, just with some friends and play pool.
Yeah, man.
And then
God definitely
just
saved
went,
you, man.
yeah,
Saved your life, bro.
crazy. So you had this moment where somebody had died that you knew in a
Yeah.
car accident,
Yeah, and
and you heard the voice.
it's yeah, and it's not just that. Like a lot of people got hurt when that car, because it was a huge car crash.
Mm.
Like my friend told me that their car actually like flipped, and it hit a lot of other cars. Like I mean, I don't know how many other cars it hit, but it hit like other cars and other people. Like
Wow.
like there were people who got injured,
Mm.
because they were driving fast and they just crashed and boom, 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 boom.
Mm.
And I was like, and like when she said that, I was like, man, if I was there, bro, like I would have definitely got hit or died or something. And then so that's when I started really, really, I started to know, actually, I think that's the right word, that, that, that there is a creator, a God, or there is,
He's
there's,
watching.
yeah, he's watching. So at this point, I didn't have any religious or any notion. I just like, okay, there's someone or something. I wasn't sure what or who, but I knew I was not alone,
Mm.
at least. And so now I'm like getting into just I was I felt the spirit. Okay, I felt there was a spirit,
Mm.
and now I'm like I'm opening up to the transcendental, to the supernatural. How people call it supernatural. Uh, and so I'm still not believing in magic and stuff and miracles, but so that's why it was very hard for me to see this happen and be like, it's clearly not a coincidence, but I know it's showing that something is there, but I cannot understand it, but I know it's there because this is not it can't be a coincidence. Anyway, and then um, there was a few other experiences that showed me that that the supernatural exists.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's quite cool. So your heart was completely opposed to it, the idea of it.
yeah,
And then even through Zen, um, Buddhism would kind of open you a little bit to the idea of like the law of morality as well, how that's almost universal
sure,
in our hearts,
sure,
which
sure,
does point towards some sort of intelligent design. The fact that we have that, we're not
yeah,
just reacting with
yeah,
our
yep,
own tendencies.
yep, yep,
And then you're having those voices, which is cool.
yeah,
And it's like this door slowly opening to like the revelation that
yeah,
God is saying, I'm here.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. It's really cool, and yeah, it always gets me emotional because it just shows me how much God loves us. That even when we reject Him completely,
Mm.
He will still show us signs. And thing is, let me tell you, from since I was like 13 or 14, I would find myself sometimes praying to whoever was there, if someone is there, just asking, please, if you're there, if you can listen, if you can hear me, I just want to know the truth, please. I just want to know. I don't want to be fooled. I don't want to be. I don't want to be like. I just. I don't want to follow a lie.
Mm.
I just want to follow the truth. Like if you're real, or if whatever is real, I just want it to be shown to me, please. And I was begging, and I would cry, and I would get on my knees, and I did this a few times, not too many times, maybe a couple of times at that age. Sorry, I think I touched it. So and then these things start to happen. Okay, and so I had these little prayers in my head, or requests, maybe you can say, but I was like praying about them, or from time to time. Like I want to know if magic is real, if spirits are real, if afterlife is real, if God is real. I don't know, like because here I am. Just I grew up very skeptical of course religion. Like since I left it, and I was I was very like fascinated by science. I wanted to know, like I loved anything. So I loved anything that had to do with the pursuit of truth. So now anything that I start to pray for, I get to things happen in my life that show me if that thing is real or not. So one time, yeah, I think I was like 16, or yeah, this I don't know. Anyway, I was teenager, and so we just so in Morocco it's very common for families to have a maid in the house, a housekeeper, who would cook and clean and everything. It's very common. My mom had just asked her sister to find her someone who is trustworthy and
Mm.
who can come and help my mom in the house, right? You know. And so I remember this very, very, very well. My mom told me, like, she brought this young lady, this girl, home, and she said, yeah, my sister introduced me to this young lady, and she's actually from like she's from like the mountains, from like far away from where we were, and she was new to our city. She
Mm.
knew no one.
Right.
My mom's sister, I think, spoke to one of her housekeepers, and so this was like someone from her family, from the countryside, from the mountains. This was her first time in the city. She knew nobody. Okay, she knew nobody, and I remember like that was the first day she was with us. Okay, so my mom was like, "Yeah, this is so." I forgot her name, so and so, and okay, nice to meet you. Hi, hello. Okay, I just go about my business. I just go upstairs and I'm watching TV or whatever. And so my mom is out now. She went out, and then someone rings the bell, and I could actually see from from the living room on top, on the first floor, who it is. But I just look there, and then I see that the maid already went out, to see who it is. Okay. She opened the door and she was just talking. I saw that it was. In Morocco we have these kind of like traditional people who go around the neighborhoods playing music or doing some kind of like fortune not fortune telling, but they would just
Like
give
little gimmicks.
like yeah like yeah like giving blessings or whatever, but it's mainly just so that you can give them some money, you know what I mean? Okay, so I saw that it was like one of those people. Like there was like a couple of them, and she was like talking to them. Like she just like opened the door, and I was like, okay, I forget about it. She's just gonna tell them that, yeah, the owner of the house is not here, and yeah, they're just gonna go on their way. So I just keep watching TV and watching TV, and I can still hear her talking to them for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I look up, and they're actually they're actually inside the garden, because usually like they would not come inside, they would just stay outside. So now they're inside, and he's talking to her, and she's like there, and she's like listening, and I'm like, what the hell are these people doing? Trying to just you know trick her into giving them money or whatever. I just thought so, so I got kind of upset, so I went downstairs, and I'm like, hey man, guys, we don't have money, guys, like what do you want? Just please get out of here. And she looks at me and she's like, Omar, this man just told me every name of every member of my family. My parents, my cousins, my uncles, my aunts, my nieces, my nephews. And she's like, and her eyes are like this big. She cannot believe it. And I'm like, and I'm listening to her say this, and I'm surprised, but at the same time, I'm extremely skeptical guy, So I'm like, I think they just hypnotized her or something. You know what I mean? She just believes that they told her. And so I'm like, okay, guys, come on, party's over. Come on, guys, get out of here. And then one of them looks at me, and so um, so I don't know these guys, and they don't know me. Like I never seen them all my life. He looks at me, he's like, "You're Iraqi, aren't you?" And my father is Iraqi. But I like nothing about me says that I'm Iraqi. I speak Moroccan.
Mm.
I never been to Iraq. I grew up in Morocco. I was born in Morocco, and I'm like, so now I'm kind of like intrigued. I'm surprised. Like, what? How did you know? No, no, no. Sorry. The first thing I said is, from which city in Iraq?
Really? Wow. Did he answer?
He did, and he got it right.
Wow.
Yeah, he said Baghdad. I mean, so the thing is, my father is from Baghdad. The thing is, I was surprised, but then I was like,
You can lift it up from here.
something.
Go
Thank you. Yeah, I thought of. He said you're from Iraq, and I was like, I was surprised, but at the same time, like, I kind of wanted to test him. I was like, oh, okay, I think you're a wise guy. Okay, from where in Iraq? And then, and I remember this very clearly. It was as if he was listening to someone speak to him, but no one was there. He was like, Baghdad, like that.
Oh yeah. So he like turned his head like someone was whispering in his ear.
Yeah, and those guys have spirits with them. There's a whole thing in Morocco.
Wow.
I've learned this later. Like there's a lot of like witchcraft and magic there, and there are ways to capture spirits and use them as your slaves. And they would get information for you, and they would go and see what's happening, and they could even move objects for you.
Mm. Yeah, I've had a satanic priest come on the show before.
Oh wow!
Ex satanic priest.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and he was saying the same stuff. Yeah.
Man, yeah, and so now I'm like, yeah. So he said Baghdad, and I was like, what? How did he know. And they just started talking all this stuff, and like, which I don't even know was true. Like, yeah, your family is from a long lineage of uh, of devout believers in God, and oh no, by the way, this is true actually, and I knew this years later. I just thinking about this now. Devout, and you're from a lineage of like, who are like very close to the prophet and this and that, and I'm just like at this point I don't even know like if I should listen to him, because I'm on my guard, and I don't want someone to like hypnotize me with words, like too much words, and like just like make me be like, okay, yeah, yeah, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
I just like, okay, keep your composure, whatever he says, and then at the end he's like, okay, so now go home, like go inside and get us $10. So $10 in Moroccan money is like it's like a lot of money, It's we say 100 dirhams. 100 dirhams, especially at that time, was could could buy you food for like a few days. And I'm like, so when he said that, I was like, what? Oh man, get out of here, man! Come on, we don't have money, man. Come on, just just leave us alone. And he and he's like, okay, that's all right, man. All right, thank you very much. Bye bye. And he just left. Later, like much later, like when I talked to my father, like years later, I learned that actually we do have a lineage of Sufi mystics in the family. Uh, One very famous Islamic figure, Sufi figure in Islam, is very famous even today. A lot of people follow him around the world. Called Abdul Qadir al Jilani, Sheikh Abdul Qadir al Jilani, very famous Sufi mystic who was even feared by the Sultan. So the Sultan, like with his armies and everything, he feared him. And this man had no army or anything, but he was so loved by the people, because he was such a righteous man and
Mm.
such a pious man that like if this man just said something that like he like if he just said to the people, do this, people would do it, because they loved him so much and they trust him so much. They trusted him even more than the Sultan himself. So the Sultan was afraid of him. But he was like a good man. He was, he was like a pious man, a good, like he was a godly man. And then I thought back about this guy who was telling me all these things, and he doesn't know anything. I didn't know this. So like, how would he know this? So and then like later I learned that the spirit that he was, like in Morocco we say like he works spirits, spirit he was working or using whatever. He was the one who was telling him all these informations because that spirit could see uh all those all these things about me that I don't know about myself, but he was telling him. Anyway, so I was so that was like the beginning of my introduction to the spirit world, and I was like, man, so this stuff really is real, man. Like this is, and then I even had, I even, I even had this other experience that I would like to share, but I don't know if you have anything to say about this first or.
Um, no, I mean, yeah, I've come across a few people that, uh, I mean, speaking like that is a spiritual gift. It's words of knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and Jesus himself he uses
Sure.
the same thing with the woman at the well.
Mm-hmm.
He says her name. He says that she has many husbands.
Yeah.
Says all the stuff about
Sure.
her,
Sure.
and yeah, it is a spiritual gift that people can operate. Jesus is the
Sure.
one person in the Bible that basically operates every spiritual gift.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Most
true.
people just do some. Um,
That's true. That's
yeah.
true. I mean, it's definitely something that can happen when you have a gift or when you're touched,
Mm.
you know. Uh,
Just
but
pointing out it can happen for evil and it
yeah,
can
yeah,
be for good too.
right.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. Like
Mm.
so when it's a gift, it's like you've earned it
Mm.
because like you've been blessed by the Holy Spirit, and you have this gift, because it's been given to you. But there's ways, like there are ways to cheat, and to use it in a like not an honest kind of way.
Yeah.
And that's where you have these people who use uh spirits or souls, or and there's like a whole science of,
I
like
think,
ancient science,
yeah, I think
for like
that
how to do this.
it is real as well. Like they are using real spirits to be able to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And you see that example with Moses, where he goes and the priests, the Pharaoh's priests, mimic the same miracles that Moses is doing. They mimic water to blood. They mimic a stick turning into a snake. They
Yes.
mimic all of these, but if you notice each time, God's miracle is so much greater
Yeah,
than all
of
of
course,
theirs,
of course.
and particularly those miracles. If you look at the 10 plagues, for example, uh, every plague is
Yeah.
representing one of the Egyptian gods, and so you got the plague that has locusts, and there's a god in the Bible that has the head of a locust,
Mm-hmm.
or where God blocks out the sun.
Mm.
Um, just in Egypt, by the way,
Mm.
where
Mm.
all the slaves were, the sun was shining bright.
Yeah.
He blocks out the sun. That's showing a mockery to their god Ra,
Mm.
which is their most powerful god, the
Yeah,
sun god.
the sun god, right? Rise the
Yeah,
sun.
and so when so they, I think that these are very real entities
No, they are.
that are
Of
in the
course,
world.
definitely.
Ra is a very real demon, I think, and was a viewed as a god, and could do things, could do a lot of things. But God, that's why the God is described as the King of Kings and the God of gods.
Hmm.
And
Sure.
yeah, there are other gods, but
Yeah,
they're so much lesser
of course. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
by an infinite amount
Yeah, for sure. No, no,
than the
definitely.
one we serve. Yeah. So
Def-
that would be all I would say on that. Like, yeah,
yeah,
I don't think they're tricking you, these people. I think that person could see into your lineage and could see
yeah, yeah, yeah.
this information.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. Of course. I mean, of course, they're not. No, 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 no.
I'm
They were
saying
not.
that
They were.
for our listeners,
Yeah, yeah.
mainly more for the listeners than you.
Sure, sure. No, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely, they were not. They actually, because yeah, because all the things
Yeah.
they said about me was true. Like, were true, and not only me, but even the maid who just arrived from the
Yeah.
mountains, like her hometown is like hours away from from her, and that was her first day in her life in that city.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, these guys just come like randomly, and they don't know me nor her or anyone.
Yeah.
I never saw them before. Like because you have these kind of people in Morocco, and like every day, like you see like different ones. Like they're not like the same, or like sometimes they might be the same, but like like you don't really pay attention, but they don't know who lives there or who.
Mm.
And even if they do, like how could they know me, or let alone this new girl who came from the countryside,
Mm.
from the mountains, like miles
Yeah.
away?
No, they're definitely operating with something.
Oh,
That's
sure,
for
sure,
sure.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So
So what was your like? Your mindset was starting to shift. That supernatural is real.
I started opening up to.
Yeah. How do you get to the point of like Christianity? Because that's kind of seems like a big jump, especially in Morocco. Correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong, but
yeah, yeah,
there can't be a lot of Christians in Morocco. It's more Muslim, right?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's because of these this series of events that got me closer and closer to that. Could I share a few more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll try and keep it not too much longer.
Sure.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So basically, one of these. So okay. So I'm gonna jump to a few which were like really really important in my life. I think. So one of these that was really really important was I was asking about like the afterlife. Does afterlife exist? And then one time, um, in 2011, yeah, 2011, I was like 20, 26, yeah, 26, 25, something like that. 26, I think. Yeah. At night I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden I see. I was okay. I was dating this girl at that time, and her father was ill. He had cancer, and I never met him, never saw his picture. She just told me, "Yeah, my father has cancer," and I visit him in the hospital, and I kind of tried to help him through her by by suggesting to her some herbs because I was always interested in natural healing and herbs and stuff. So to this day, you know, natural diets and all these things like that. So I tell her about some herbs, and she goes to him, and then she talks to me after. She says, my dad was really pleased by you trying to help him with these herbs. And I was like, oh, how did you end up telling him about me? And she's like, yeah, he asked me.
Right.
You know,
Second time I've
the
done that.
second time, be careful.
Need to move my seat away.
Yeah, sorry. Uh, she was like, yeah, like when I brought him these herbs, and he asked me like, it's like, where you bring these from? Like all of a sudden, and so she told him about me and how I was suggesting these herbs to him, and he was actually touched by that. He was not like, oh, this is unscientific, get out of here. He was like, oh, bless his heart. He's such a sweet boy. Please thank him for me. And he was really touched by that. And she told me that. So I never met him. He never met me. But he knows about me. I know about him. That's it. That's it. And me and her, we kind of lost touch. She was, going through a lot of stuff. We were not talking much. And one day, after like a couple of months from this, I dream of this man who I never seen in my life, and I can see him like physically. And he says, "Hey, my son, thank you so much for trying to help me. Uh, you are so kind, to do everything that you can to help me, but my time is up. I just came to say goodbye.
You dreamed this?
Yep, I saw this in
Wow.
my dream. Yep. And in the dream, I'm just listening. I'm not even talking. I'm just there. I'm taking it all in, and I can see him. I can see exactly how he looks, exactly. And so he's like, I just came to say goodbye, and just to thank you personally, and please take care of yourself, and bye bye, bye bye. And then I wake up. Yeah, he goes in the distance, and I wake up, and I'm like, and I have this strong feeling that that's her father, and that he passed away. But my mind is like, come on, man, don't think like that. I'm sure he's okay. I'm sure he's healed. Uh, you know, and besides, he didn't say his name. So how can you be sure that it's him? But I just had this 1,000% cert- certainty that it's him. You know how dreams are weird. Like you see something or you
Mm.
see someone and you know who it is, even though they might not look like that person all of the time, or they might not say who they are. But there are some things in dreams which just make
Mm.
sense. And I'm like, no, but I know it's him, but no, 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 come on, it can't be him, because if it's him, that dream clearly shows that he died, and I don't want to think he died. Come on,
Mm.
don't think like that. That same morning, I got on the computer on Facebook, and I spoke to my girlfriend's aunt, who lived in the same city as me, because the girl didn't live in the same city, and the first thing she tells me, did you hear that her father just passed away?
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, I heard.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard.
She didn't ask me how, and I didn't tell her how.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, he just passed away last night. Just last night.
Wow.
And I just had that. And I saw him in my dreams saying goodbye. And so now my mind is like, I don't know why, man. Sometimes like when I when I think back on these things, I'm like, man, I'm so stupid, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Hindsight, it's
no,
you're
because
thinking, how did I not see this before?
no, 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 no. What I mean is, even though this happened, I'm like, I just dismiss it as a coincidence.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man, don't believe in this stuff. Come on, it's
Yeah.
just a coincidence. It happened a second time.
Really?
The next, yeah, man.
Her dad died again?
No, someone else.
Okay.
But wait, but
I
hold
was
on.
like, that's going to be really good because he must get resurrected.
Right, right.
Okay.
No, but before that second time, uh, a month later, after he died, after her, her father passed away, I told the girl about the dream. I told her exactly who I saw, and the thing is, I could not even guess or make this stuff up because he didn't look anything like her.
Mm.
He didn't look like her at all. She's short and a little chubby, and he was thin and tall, and she was like more light skin. He was more dark skin. I couldn't even like
So you hadn't met this person,
no, never.
but just seen them in a dream.
Yeah, I never even saw a picture. She never even like described him to me ever. This was like a new girlfriend, by the way. She was not like someone I was dating for a long time or anything.
Yeah.
I was just dating her for like over a month. That's it. I just met her that summer.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so I tell her how he looks. Very slim, tall, white
Mm.
hair, big glasses, big white mustache, dark skin, all these things. And even the clothes he was wearing white. I don't know if that's because he was in the hospital. I have no idea.
Mm.
But I told her everything and she just couldn't, she was in shock. She was like, "You just described my father exactly how he looks." Like
Wow.
exactly. And I was like, "Okay, wow, that's interesting." But even my mind at the time was like, "Come on, that's just it can't be real. Come on." And then the next year, 2012, uh someone very close to our family, this old lady who used to know me very well. I used to know her very well. I didn't see her or have any news from her or her entire family for 6 months. Like I was completely out of touch with her and with every member of her family. Because her family knows me. I'm friends with her grandsons and everything. But we like at that time I was in school and they were in school and everybody was busy with life, right? It was a school year, So all of a sudden, I see her in my dream,
Mm.
and she says slightly the same thing as the first one, but except thank you for helping me. Of course, because I never helped her. She just said, "Hey Omar, thank you so much." By the way, Omar is my first name. That's why I say Omar, but name I was brought up with. But so uh, she was like, it was so nice to to get to know you and take care of yourself and my time is up. I just came to say goodbye.
Wow.
I swear, man. Yeah, exactly like that. And she seemed happy. She seemed happy and like, okay, bye. I just came to say goodbye. Bye bye. See you. And I wake up and I'm like, what is going on? What is this? This is weird. Is no. That's just a dream. That's just a dream.
Mm.
Man, that same morning, her grandson calls me or contacts me on. I don't remember how he contacted me. I think we spoke on the phone or it was a SMS or something like that.
Mm.
Something like that. I don't remember exactly how, but he contacted me. I remember this. He contacted me. I didn't contact any of them. They contacted me, and he was like, "Hey man, I just called you to say we just lost our grandmother last night. I mean this morning. Like we found her dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was she she was lying dead in in her bed.
Wow.
Are you aware of this?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm aware." It just came out like very spontaneously,
Yeah.
just like the first time because I was aware of it. I saw her.
Yeah.
I met her in my dream.
How did he respond to that?
No.
Did he just assume somebody else told you?
Yeah. I never had the guts to say, yeah, I saw her in my dream. No, of course I
Mm.
know because it would just sound so fake, right? It would sound
Mm.
so unreal, and
Mm.
like that's not even like I didn't even feel like that was the right time to say
Yeah.
it, so I just kept it for myself.
Yeah.
But I shared it with some of the family members later, and they were like, "Oh, like because they know me, they
Mm. Not
like
gonna
they
make it up.
yeah, they trust me." So like when I told them about that, they were just like in awe, like, "Oh my God, like praise God, praise
Yeah.
the Lord," but like in the Muslim kind of
Mm.
way, how do you
Yeah.
say that? But yeah, it means the same thing. So anyway, sorry for dragging this very long. I'm so long. So cutting from there to present time. Uh,
Yeah, because you're very fresh in the faith of
yeah.
Christianity, right? How many
Well,
years?
no, just 1 year, man.
1 year. Yeah, so
Since
that's
last
cool.
August.
That's awesome. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm keen to hear like how that happened.
Yeah, sure. So living in Morocco. Sorry.
You want some water?
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. Thank you. It's just yeah, it's clear my throat. So um, I've been through a lot, and just I've never really fit in, and because I left Islam very young, and I was always like rejected by society there, and never really belonged anywhere there. So, um, but I was fine with it because I was like, yeah, I'm at least I'm honest with myself. I'm not pretending to believe something that I don't believe, and and whatever. And so at this point, so after all this stuff I told you, I went deep into yoga, into mysticism. I went to India twice. I just wanted to know more about the spirit world, basically. That's all I wanted to know. I just wanted to gain knowledge, and I did a lot of knowledge. And even though I gained a lot of that knowledge, I started to make videos in Arabic in Morocco for like for like 10 years. I have 400 and almost 450 videos in my first channel, which is mostly in Arabic, just speaking about spirituality and about what like my experiences. I started sharing my experiences much later, by the way. It was something that I always kept like intimate. I don't know why. I never really wanted to share much about it because I didn't want it to seem like it's just about yeah, like I know this because I saw this and I because
Mm.
because you have a lot of people talking about that. Yeah, I saw God and I was like, come on, man, get out of here. You know what I mean? Like so for me, I didn't want it to become like a ridiculous thing, like because for me it was a really serious thing. I saw these things.
Yeah.
So when I talk about them, I always choose my audience and I choose my moments. I don't just come in and blurt it out
Hmm.
because for me it's like really really serious stuff.
Don't cast pearls before swine. Is what the Bible says.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
what does it say again, Sammy?
Don't cast your pearls, your precious things, the moments that you've had with Christ,
Yes.
in front of swine, which is
Oh
pigs,
my yeah yeah
and basically swine that eat everything
yeah
good, bad, and it turns into nothing. So,
yeah
like to consider your audience, like you're saying, is fitting in with that scripture.
yeah definitely, man,
Mm.
definitely.
I feel honored that you're considering the Jesus Magnets audience
Oh man,
as not swine, which
oh,
is
of course
great.
not. Yeah, man, thank you.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
this is a great testimony so far.
thank you.
I like how God's really used every aspect, but very gently throughout your life, showing you that He can speak to you. He can like people. We have these ideas of religion with where we're chasing, whether it's Buddhism or Sikhism or Islam or whatever it is, and often there's no revelation that you can actually hear the Lord speak to you, and you were experiencing that before your conversion, which is super cool. And that happens all the time. You
Yeah.
got Moses before in a burning bush,
Oh yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah,
It happens all throughout the Bible
yeah, yeah,
where the Lord, and that's what the Bible says that the Holy Spirit, uh, it's through the Holy Spirit and Him calling us
yeah, yeah.
that we are able
I
to
even
receive.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. It- and if I could just share one last thing before I get to my story when I became Christian. This is a very key thing. It's not going to take a lot of time. Just I the reason why I chose the name Daniel for me, it just came very naturally. It was not It was not like for no reason. It has very very specific reason. Since I was very young, since I was a little boy, I don't know why, but all throughout my life, it's not just like when I was a kid. All throughout my life, even my adult life, I would, for some reason, just have these dreams where I'm either in a house or in a garden surrounded by lions. Just surrounded by lions. And I would be afraid, like, oh my God. And they're so vivid, these dreams. They're vivid. Like, I can I can almost smell the lion. Like, they're like they're real. And they're growling like I can feel the vibration of their growling like in my butt. Like, oh my God, it's a real lion here, man. Like it's no joke. And and they and they don't really like attack me. And they're just like there. And sometimes I'm very scared. Sometimes I'm very secure, even if they're there. Sometimes I even touch them. Uh, I had this teacher from South Africa. Her name is Shirley Ann. Old no, Shirley Ann. She might be watching too, maybe. And because we're still friends, we're very, very good friends, me and her. And after she was my teacher in junior high. After I finished junior high, we kept in touch. After I finished high school, basically, we kept in touch and got back in touch, and we became just really great friends. And I was sharing with her a lot of stuff. She's always very interested to hear stuff about spirituality and stuff. She's really really cool. I love her so much. And I told her at that time I was in my 20s. This was after high school. I told her about this dream that I used to have because I was still having it even in my 20s, even my 30s. And she said something very interesting. She said, "You know what? Next time you see the lion in your dream, ask him what he's doing in your dream." And I'm like, why didn't I ever think of that? Like,
Yeah.
like that's an amazing idea. Like, I
Yeah.
should do that. But I'm like, but sure, because I call her Shirley. But Shirley, like, how can I like remember to ask this lion in my dream? And sometimes it's not just one line. Sometimes it's many. Yeah, no, no, it's okay. Just try to remember and just ask that. And she said, you know what, you might get an answer. Like, man, that's incredible. I never thought of that because in my dream, like, I mean, who thinks of talking to a lion in their
Yeah.
dream? You know what I mean? And I always see like the first thing you think like when you see a lion, you're like, oh my God, a lion! Like, oh,
Mm.
I gotta, yeah. Is he dangerous? Oh my God,
Yeah. Keep my distance. Yep.
yeah. But she says, ask the lion, talk
Mm.
to him. Almost 6 months later, or how many months later, I'm sleeping, of course, and I see this lion in my dream. This time, it's weird. It's like no other dream. I remember it like very distinctly. I'm here, and it's a beautiful day. I'm outside. It almost looks like an ancient palace with stairs, like old stairs, like made of stone, going up. I didn't see where up, but it was like somewhere up. I don't know. I don't know if it reached the sky or if it reached a castle, but it was like huge stairs. And this male lion walking down the stairs towards me. And all of a sudden, I remember the question. Oh my God, I can remember. I actually remember the question. I actually remember
Yeah.
to ask this lion, and I'm going to do it. Yes. I'm so happy. I'm like, yeah, I'm so happy that I remember the question. Okay. So now I'm like, like preparing myself. Okay. Okay. And the lion's, coming closer and closer. So the first time I saw a lion, of course I got scared. Like, oh my God, a lion again. Oh, the question, like that. So he was coming closer and coming closer, but he was not like aggressive. He was just like, just like walking towards me. And as he came like a couple or
Just
several
yeah.
feet, or
Close.
yeah, several feet close, I finally gathered the courage and I'm like, why do I always see you in my dream? Who are you? And he stops and he sits on his hind legs and he looks at me and he opens his mouth and he says, "I am God Almighty. I'm I am the Almighty God," like that. He says, "I am the Almighty God."
Wow.
As soon as he says that, I could not believe what I just heard, and I'm just like, like I'm in shock, and then I wake up,
Wow.
and I kind of left this dream like I was amazed by that at that moment. Oh, when I woke up, I've never felt so happy, so confident, so so blessed in my entire life. Like that morning, I felt like when I woke up, I felt like I was on a cloud. I was like so. I felt so powerful, like in a positive sense, of course. I felt so courageous and powerful and hopeful and just all the great feelings that you can feel. I felt them all at the same time, and and I was just like, oh my god, I feel amazing, man. Oh wow, what is this? And so, but later down the line, I kind of forgot that dream. I was like, yeah, I don't really know what that meant, because I was still not a believer. I was just and and then okay, so now I come to the present time. So I I'm like, I'm it's been always hard actually, living in Morocco as myself, because not growing up Muslim and being rejected even by family, like a lot of time. Not my parents, but our 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 other family, extended family, and you always feel like they make you feel like you're an outsider. I mean, like, yeah, like you're not really one of us. Like we're just coping with you because you're family. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I always felt that, and I'm like, and I'm feeling down. I'm feeling like, okay, like I know all these things about spirituality, and I have all this knowledge, but I feel empty.
Mm.
What do I do with my life? I don't know. Should I just write books and share my spiritual knowledge with people? Okay, but then what?
Still not leading anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like, I cannot see my future ahead. I just can't
Mm.
see anything. I'm just like, okay, I'm just living day by day.
Wow.
And every time I try to help someone or do something good for someone, I get backlashes from people. Not all the time, but it happened. It happened a few times, and I'm just it was just getting increasingly harder, and I started to feel like I don't feel like I don't feel like I belong here anymore. I don't feel welcomed in Morocco,
Mm.
because for a long time I was trying to fit in, because I'm from there, I live there, and um and I just wanted to fit in. I just wanted to, yeah, this is a lot of the times people were telling me, yeah, like you got to get out of here. Like this is not your it's not your place. Like it's a whole other world. Like, you were not brought up like people
Mm.
here, and but I always wanted to prove them wrong. Like no, like I love my country. I love my, even though I'm not Muslim, even though I don't have the same mentality, but I want to, that's why I was making all these videos talking about all my knowledge on spirituality and stuff, and health, and natural healing and all these things that really are beneficial. So I thought that that would be something good. Like I could be accepted, and I still felt empty, and I'm like, man,
Just because it's beneficial doesn't make it good.
yeah, it was
Not
not.
not in the purest sense of good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with that. It was not bad, but I just didn't feel like it was not fulfilling me.
Yeah. It led nowhere as well. Like it was
It's like, okay,
almost living in the temporary.
yeah, and I thought that it will fulfill me. I thought like, okay, like people are just taking this knowledge, and most of the time they don't really apply it. They're just curious, and okay. Because look, my main objective was, because I always like helping people. I always loved just knowing that I was of some help
Yeah.
to people. And even then, I felt like I was not really that much of like that much help.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like I'm just wasting my time and I'm just wasting my energy and like my life is not going anywhere.
Mm.
So so I'm not so anyway, so here I am. I'm spending like a lot of time like this and I'm like uh there's also there's also there was also this girl who I was in touch with during COVID from the States. She was Filipino but American and she was Christian. And during COVID, you know what I mean, like the lockdown and everything, all you can do is talk online. You can't meet or anything. And we both didn't want to take the thing, right? I don't want to. I
I
don't
didn't
want.
take it either.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, my man. So, I was really really in love with her. Like we were really like in love, both of us. We would talk for hours every day and cry and laugh and everything. And then she started telling me, please accept Jesus in your life. And I couldn't. I just couldn't. I'm like, I love you so much, and I, I'm willing to go to church with you and everything. But I just can't pretend to believe something I don't. I don't believe he's the son of God. I don't. And she would cry and beg me. And I told her, I'm sorry. I don't know what will happen in the future, but I love you so much that I cannot lie to you. I love you so much that I cannot just
Mm.
fake myself. I have to give you my real self.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy for me to be like, you know what? I love you, so okay, I'm a Christian.
Mm.
I don't want to do that. And I hope that you can see that because I cannot do that, that proves that how much I love you. But although all that was beautiful and poetic, but she still needed a Christian man in her life. So she ended up leaving me. We ended up breaking up. And it was very hard because I don't think I was really. I mean, yeah, I've been in love several times in my life, and it was very profound. But with her, I was like, I don't know, I was really, really in love with her, and she was too. Like, by the way, like we kept in touch for a while, but it didn't last because of the religion thing, and it took me a while to move on. I tried keeping in touch, and then eventually she's like, "Sorry, I can't talk to you anymore. I'm engaged now, and I'm about to get married. I'm gonna go off grid." I don't know if she she ever comes across this video. I just wanted to know who I am now. That's it. Like, may God bless her and give her a happy life. Like I'm not like but it just I don't know. I feel like that was God
Mm.
calling me,
Yeah.
and I couldn't listen because I told you I just told you earlier that I could be very very stubborn.
Oh, the first time God talked to you, you didn't listen. You listened the second time, so there's a pattern going on.
Yeah, yeah,
First, so this was the first time.
yeah, yeah. So now I'm in my life, and I'm like, this was a couple of years ago and stuff, and I'm like, just I don't know where my future is, where I am, where I'm gonna. I feel like I don't belong in Morocco anymore, but I don't know where to go, and then this voice, the same voice that was guiding me all throughout my life, and he guided me even in other situations, but due to lack of time, I cannot share
Yeah,
everything. But
we can go into it another time.
sure, sure.
Yeah.
I could even tell you that one time he saved me from like uh, I was in a I just want to mention this really really quick. Just I was in a life and death situation, and I was about to be murdered.
Whoa.
Yeah, someone was standing above me with a knife this big, like a sword,
Whoa.
and he was saying, "I'm going to chop your head off right now. Are you ready to die?" Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, like I should save myself. And at that moment, that voice spoke to me
Whoa.
and said, be still. Just be still and know that I'm with you. Yeah.
Wow.
I,
That's hardcore.
yeah,
When,
yeah, yeah.
how did that happen?
Oh man.
Or is that a long story?
It's not really a long story. Do you want me to get into it a little bit?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. I
Okay.
don't know if you can drop that bomb and not.
Sure, sure. Of course. Yeah. Yeah, no worries. So I had a friend from Cameroon, a very, very close friend of mine. But this is not about him. This is about just me going to see him. He was living in this very bad neighborhood in a next city, in the next city next to ours. So I was in Rabat. He was living in Saleh. Saleh is the other. So there's a very, very bad neighborhood there called Sidi Musa. So for all the Moroccans listening, they they will definitely know that. If they can hear it, they would they put in like in the comments like, yeah, I know that place, man. That's a terrible place.
Okay.
So that night, I just wanted to go spend, because he was there just for like a temporary time, like we actually like were living together before that, but then he moved out, and then I moved back in with my mom, and anyway, but yeah, so I was going to spend the night with him at that night. It was like during winter. It was really cold. That night, I was invited to a wedding with like with my brother because my brother's friend was getting married. So, and I know his friend too. So I went to the wedding and I was all dressed up real nice and everything. And I told my brother, listen, like after the wedding, could you please just drop me off, so I can see my friend and spend the night there? So, okay. He drops me off there at this very bad neighborhood. But it was empty because it was cold. It was night, like very late night. But my friend, to meet me, he had to get out of the, because he lives in these little alleys. So he got out of the house. He met me. Anyway, we tried to go back to the house, but so the owner of the house where he lived, because he was just like renting a room. He had left the house to go pray. No, sorry. No, 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 sorry. We were waiting for him to get out of the house to go pray so that we can get in because my friend had forgotten the keys. So what we did was we stayed outside in this little alley just like next to the house, and we were cold, so I was like, dressed up really nice and stuff, but I was really cold too. So this guy who watches over the cars or whatever, he brought us some blankets, and we were just sitting on the ground. And then he just disappears for some time. I don't know if he was the one who initiated that thing that happened or not, but I don't know. All of a sudden, this guy just comes on a bicycle. He stops next to us, and then he pulls out these two like one sword like this big, and then this thing that you hang meat with or whatever. I don't like a hook.
Whoa.
Yeah, and my friend is like, "Oh my God, Omar!" And I'm like, "It's okay, calm down." And and then he comes to my friend and he puts the knife to his neck and he's like, so he's basically just trying to intimidate us at this point. He just here, he's like he just wants to get money from us or something. I don't know. My friend got scared and like my friend is like way older than me. I was like in my 20s. This was in this was in 2009. 2008, 2009. Yeah, like a winter. And and then my friend's like, "Oh my God, he was he was about to kill me, man." I was like, and at this point, I'm not speaking. Something is talking through me, and I'm just allowing it to speak through me. And I don't know anything about what's going on, but this something talking through me knows everything. So I'm not taking any credit for this, okay? I'm like this person, Omar Paul Daniel, doesn't know anything. This thing just kept talking, and I turned to my friend. I'm like, "Don't worry, he's not gonna do anything to you. I promise you." And I didn't. How can I know? I cannot know that, but something in me knew that, and was making me say this. The guy, points to me and like, "Hey, you, give me all your stuff." And I turned to him. So me and my friend were sitting down on the ground, cross-legged, covered with this blanket, trying to keep warm, and he's like standing like in front of us, like this, like carrying this big knife. Hey man, give me everything you got. I look at him. Like with a smile, completely free from any fear, and I'm like, my friend, I promise you, you will not get anything from me or from my friend. Just stop wasting your time and just go. And I was not trying to chase him. I was not. And I'm there and I'm like witnessing myself saying this, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like I don't even know what's happening. And this guy is just going crazy. What? Are you crazy? You know what I can do to you? And he's just going back and forth and trying to scare us. And when he sees that I'm not scared, and I don't know why I'm not scared, I'm just not scared. And he's like, okay, you know what? I've had enough with you. I've had enough of you. I'm gonna chop your head off right now. Are you ready?
Wow. A serious threat.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez.
And I'm like,
What do you say to something like that?
I don't know. I didn't know what to say, what to think. My mind is saying, yeah, just act tough. And then I'm like, no, no, I should not try to act tough. But if I don't act tough, he's gonna think I'm afraid. So what do I do? I don't know.
Mm.
And then this voice just takes over me and says, calm down. You don't have to do anything. Just stay still. He says that, just stay still. Be still. It's kind of like the Bible verse, be still and know that I am God.
Mm.
It was exactly though, like in that sense.
Mm.
And this was way before I read the Bible, so I didn't know anything about. and then he's like, "Are you ready?" I'm not joking. I swear I'm gonna do this. Sorry. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready. And then that voice says, "Just stay still. Just stay still. Just stay still. Don't say, like, don't do much. Don't say much. Just stay still." And then as soon as he went like this to actually, strike me, that voice said, "Put your head down now." And I just obeyed everything. I just did this. I put my head like I put my head towards him.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, so that voice was like asking me to do ridiculous things. Like the person was saying that he was gonna chop my head, and the voice told me, offer him your head. Just listen to me. Just offer him, present your head to him like this.
Wow.
And I did
Like an execution.
yeah, and I did exactly that, and I'm still alive. so,
Whoa.
okay. So what happened? What happened when I did that? Of course, I could not see anything. Because now my head is down. I just hear him go, "Whoa! What? Are you crazy? Like that." And so I just look up and I'm like, I seeing him. He's like freaking out. I was about to hit you. Are you crazy? You really want to die? No, no, no. You're hiding. You're hiding some weapon under that blanket, right? Show me. Yeah, yeah. I know you are. I know. And he was panicking.
It's one way to turn the tables.
He was panicking, and
Yeah.
I had no idea.
What?
Yeah, and he was panicking, and he started like showing signs of fear. And I just burst out laughing so hard, man. The little fear that I had was completely gone, and he was just going crazy. Like he couldn't even touch me. He couldn't touch me or my friend. He tried everything he can to scare us. Nothing worked. And now he's like just going crazy. And then when he saw that he couldn't, he was completely powerless, and he was like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry if I bothered you guys. I'm just gonna get out of here." And he just got out. He just got out.
Wow. It's insane.
I swear, man. And that voice spoke to me at that time and said, "Just calm down.
Amazing.
Just do as I say. Exactly when I tell you to do it, do it."
Yeah.
And I put my head down. Everything. It's crazy.
Man.
It's crazy.
Okay. Well, let's get to the
Yes,
moment
yes.
of
So
salvation.
that voice.
Mm.
That voice suddenly, okay, I'm in my in my life, I don't know I can't see a future. I don't know. I'm kind of lost at this point. I'm like, yeah, nothing is really has any meaning anymore. And like anything good I try to do, I just get punished for it by people around me. And I'm just having friends stop talking to me, and I have people who I've known all my life just leave me. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. The same voice that was helping me throughout my life started to say something to me, and this time it was saying, "Just go to church. Just go to church." It was so we have this cathedral. It's a very famous cathedral in Rabat. So Catholic, right? Um, but that's all I knew. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, no, that's not all I knew, but yeah, there was that big one and there was a small one. But this voice was saying, yeah, just go to mass. Church mass. Church service, right? Basically. Um, and I'm like, what? Is this really the same voice that's been helping me all my life? Like, why would you tell me to go to church? I don't care about any church or Christianity or something. I mean, I respect Jesus. He was a good man, but like it stops there. Like for me, like there's nothing else, man. It just continued. Just go to mass. Just go to mass. Just go to church.
I don't know if that line of thinking works actually. If you study Jesus, I love that conversation when people say Jesus was a good man
Yeah.
because he claimed to be God. So if he's not God, then he's actually a liar, which would make him not a good man.
Good point.
And and a
Good point.
massive deceiver.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course, of course. No, the thing is, in my mind and in the minds of a lot of people similar to me, we're like, we don't even like, we're not like, how can we really be sure if what Jesus is saying in the Bible was really what Jesus said? You know what I mean? Like maybe someone put it there. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of these.
People say that.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
So
the dilemma that they call it a trilemma. It's true. It's he was either a man
Mhm.
or he was a myth
Mhm.
or he was who he said he was, the Messiah.
Yeah.
Man, myth, Messiah.
Wow.
And
Three M's.
yeah, there's actually a book called Man, Myth, Messiah. Very, very good
Wow.
on this. And yeah, they call it the trilemma, which
Wow.
if he's a man, then
Sorry.
no, you're all good. If it was, let me look up the trilemma so I get it right.
Mhm.
It's really interesting. I'll cut out any silence.
That's fine. You're good.
Trilemma dilemma.
Dilemma.
Man,
This is the most interesting part, by the way, that I got. That I'm going to.
I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, the trilemma is a situation where one must choose between three difficult or unfavorable options. So Lewis, which in C.S. Lewis, he calls it the trilemma in Mere Christianity. And he argues that his claims of divinity leave three possibilities. He was either Lord, or he was a liar, or a lunatic.
Oh, 3 L's.
3 L's.
3 M's and 3 L's.
There's also Man, Myth, Messiah as well, which is
Nice,
just
nice.
down here as well.
I like that.
So the dilemma is the situation where one is forced to choose between them, and only one can be true.
Mm-hmm.
So Man, Myth, Messiah, which is Rice Brooks, that book. I've read that one. Very, very good.
Okay.
So basically, let me try and find the actual thing for it. That's something else. It's taking a while for me to find, sorry.
That's all right.
I'll just get up. This will go good for wheels. So the option 1, which is the liar, Jesus deliberately deceives people about his identity for personal gain. The lunatic. This option suggests Jesus was mentally unstable or delusional, believing himself to be God without genuine reason. So some people think that maybe he just thought he was God. And then, or the third option is Lord. So this option accepts Jesus' claim of divinity, suggesting he is who he says he was. And there's a really good quote on it.
So I'm sure they have like good arguments, right? Like from all sides, showing like who he really is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. It's a really good way to look at all the possibilities and to consider all the evidence that's there, and it's really helpful.
Here's the quote, which paints the picture really well, and then we'll move on to what you're about to share. I am trying here to prevent anyone saying the really foolish thing that people often say about him, Jesus. I'm ready to accept Jesus as a great moral teacher, but I don't accept his claim to be God. That is the one thing we must not say. A man who was merely a man and said the sort of things that Jesus said would not be a great moral teacher. He would either be a lunatic on the level with a man who says that he is a poached egg, or he is the devil of hell. You must make your choice. Either this man was and is the Son of God, or else he was a madman or something worse, a liar. You can shut him up for a fool. You can spit at him. You can kill him as a demon, or you can fall at his feet and call him Lord and God. But let us not come with any patronizing nonsense about him being a great human teacher. He has not left that open to us, and he did not intend to. Which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you consider Jesus, and because that happens a lot across what I do here.
Yes.
As people say, oh yeah, I used to think he was just a great teacher.
Yeah, sure.
And when you consider the stuff that he said, you're going, if you believe that, you haven't read the stuff that he said.
Exactly. Because I also used to say that. Oh my God. I just remembered something. It's in line, and I mean it's part of what I'm, like it's part of what I'm about to continue saying too.
Right.
So there's no problem there. I just remembered that before having that voice that told me to go to church, I was getting ready to do something. I was getting ready to make a video because, like I said, I used to make videos but I was also making videos in English. Even like 1 or 2 years before that experience, I started making more and more videos in English because I was starting to get fed up with just Morocco in general. I wanted to reach a more international audience as well. But every time I did that, my Moroccan fans would tell me, "Come on, man, make videos in Arabic, because we don't understand English." And so okay, but anyway, yeah. But then I was like, "Come on, guys, I made I made over 400 videos for you guys, man. I think that's enough."
Fair enough.
Yeah. Before getting that, I was getting ready to make a video. You know what it was about? It was about proving that Jesus was not divine, proving that Jesus was not God.
Yeah. Good luck.
Oh,
How'd you go?
I never did it. I never could.
It's very hard, actually.
No, I never could, and I'll tell you why. I never could because I wanted to. And I had all this stuff planned about how I'm going to say that, you see, he cannot be God when he's on the cross and saying, "Why have you forsaken me?" and all these things. And every time I sat down to make the video, because, okay, listen, every time I want to make a video, a YouTube video, I just spontaneously go and sit down and, put the camera, and then I just make the video and I just, post it. This time, nothing like this ever happened to me throughout all those 10 years. I would sit down and I want to start making the video. Someone rings the bell. Okay, who is it? I go and I open the door. Okay. Oh, it's my friend that I didn't see for a long time. Okay, all right. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the video later. But, by the time my friend leaves, I'm like, yeah, I'm too tired. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. So tomorrow, I get up. Actually, I want to get a shower first. I'm going to shower. Actually, I'm feeling a little bit hungry. And so, like, I'm like, yeah, I'm too tired to make the video now. Maybe later. And then later, I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to make the video. And then as soon as I make the video, as soon as I'm, starting to make getting ready to start the video, my mom rings, my mom visits me downstairs. She would come with her car and honk, dang, 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 so I know her honk and like, oh, so I look out the window. Hey, Omar, come, I brought you something. Oh my God. Okay. I'll postpone this. Every time I wanted to make the video about Jesus not being God, for some mysterious reason, man, something just stops me every time. Every time.
Wow.
Someone rings the bell, something happens. All of a sudden, I'm just like, I'm kind of sleepy now. Actually, I'll just take a nap and maybe do it later, maybe tomorrow. And every time, for like almost a week, like days, I think even more than a week. I don't remember how long, but it never happened to me before. All my videos on YouTube, and actually, this is something that I was actually boasting about in my videos. That like I never prepare my videos. I just spontaneously start making a video and then I post it. Like I always talk about this stuff. But somehow with this video that was speaking against Jesus' divinity, every time there was an obstacle stopping me. And then this just, it just kept happening. And then I started to think like, this is weird. Huh. It never happened before. Oh, whatever. Maybe I'm sure I'm sure I'll make the video. Like, I'm sure I'll make the video eventually. Like, this is nothing. Yeah, things come up. It's normal. It's just a coincidence. That's when the voice started telling me, "Hey, man, go to church." Like, what?
Research purposes.
What?
Research purposes for the video.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. Yeah.
It just came out of nowhere, and it didn't like. It didn't come like immediately after like the next day or the same day. No, like a few days later, like I kind of forgot about like making the video. I was like, yeah, I'll do the video some other time. I was kind of like discouraged at this point. I was like, oh, whatever. And then just this voice said, "Go to church," and I was like, "Hey, man, are you sure you're God or the same spirit who was helping me out throughout my life? Because you're not making any sense now. If you know anything about me, I am not interested in having a religion, let alone Christianity. I don't believe in God that way. I don't believe in Jesus that way. I was getting ready to make a video proving that he's not God.
Yeah.
Like, so what are you telling me to go to church for, man? Just go to. That's all he said. Just go to church.
Yeah.
Just go to church. That voice continued for 3 weeks, every day, 3 weeks, 21 days. By the end of the third week, I decided. By the end of the second week, I guess, I was like, you know what? If you're not going to stop, then you know what? I'm just going to go and see what it's all about, man. Like, it's not like I've never been to church. Because in my 20s, I went with a Christian friend, to a church. I think he was a Protestant or evangelist, something like that. Yeah, he was not Catholic. And I went to church a couple of times with him. And I really liked it. But I never thought about, I might consider being a Christian. I never really thought about it. But I liked it. I mean, I remember it was nice. It felt really good and everything. But that's it. Like for me, I needed something more. I needed to believe or to know that this is true, and I didn't know.
You don't just want to do it
Yeah,
because it feels good
Sure,
or it's
sure.
nice community.
Yeah,
or,
yeah. No, that was
like
never me.
Those are awesome bonuses, but you
Yeah.
also you don't want those bonuses to be the deceiver.
The reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course
or
not.
that like the deceiving. Like I'm a Christian because of everything else Christianity brings but God.
Yeah,
Like I'm
exactly.
a believer because it brings companionship or
Man, listen, man.
like that doesn't make sense. Your
Yeah.
faith is extraordinarily shallow if
Of course.
that's the reason.
Of
which
course.
is a great thing that was a hurdle for you.
Yeah.
Like in the end,
Yes.
because many people do go to church thinking, I'm just going to go because I want community, or I want to go because my kids need a good upbringing. Actually, one of the funniest things that I came across was the amount of people that have issues with their kids getting invited to church. I'm like, out of all things your kids could be doing, like getting into gangs and like up to mischief, so many parents back in New Zealand, where I'm from, have issues with their kids going to church. I'm like, out of all things, that's one thing I wouldn't have an issue with as a parent.
Right, right.
You know, a church. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, because they're afraid of indoctrination.
Yeah, but to do what? Like they're now gonna.
Exactly. To do what? Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with you, man. Like,
It's funny, eh? Like out of all things, even if they are indoctrinated.
it's just about, look, Jesus is like, for 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 some strange reason, everyone is everyone like like people who are not Christian or who who don't follow religion. As soon as they hear you talk about Jesus, they're just like, "Hey, man, get out of here, man. I don't want." Why are you so against? I mean, he was like the most peaceful man on earth, man. Like, why are you so repulsed by him? Something must be wrong with
There's
you.
there's
Something
something
must be wrong with you.
spiritually deep about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I could even go into like demonic stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's some yeah. There's like something demonic about
No one's gonna have
hating someone like him.
no one's gonna have an issue if you're a Buddhist.
Exactly.
No one's gonna have an issue if you're a Sikhism.
Yeah.
No one's gonna have an issue if you believe in Zeus
Yeah. Or if you're a Muslim too, or anything.
or a Muslim.
Yeah, or Zeus, or yeah, anything.
But the moment it's Jesus, I don't know what it is, but well, I do know what it is.
I
You get
also
a massive target on your back, and
I also know what it is. Yeah.
the
And that's
spirit
true.
of the world hates it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. And Jesus says this in the Bible.
Yeah.
If they have persecuted me, I mean, they if they have persecuted you, remember that they have persecuted me first.
Mm.
And they will hate you because you're not of this world,
Yeah.
and because you're of the kingdom,
Yeah. Foreigner in these lands, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, but because and these people are from the world, and because you're not of the world,
Mm.
sorry, because you're not of the world, that's why they hate you.
Yeah.
If you were of this world, they would love you.
Yeah.
But it's like he was saying, like it's normal that people would hate you because they love this world
It's
and you're
healthy
not
to-
of this world.
It's healthy to expect it as a Christian.
Yeah, of course.
Because then it's like going into a boxing match. Like, if you're not expecting to get hit, it hurts a lot more.
Oh
but
man,
if you can stance yourself, you'll know all about that.
Sure.
You're gonna be a lot better to be able to withstand the punches
Yeah,
if there
definitely.
is an expectation. But if they're a sucker punch, if you're not expecting it
Yeah,
and they just get you when you're
yeah,
unaware,
and because that removes or at least decreases greatly the fear. And there's I don't know if this is a actual saying, but it's something that I say. Nothing is more painful than fear. Whenever you're afraid and then you get attacked, it hurts a whole lot more than when you're not afraid and you get attacked, because that fear is actually it's actually what weakens you. It's not your actual physical weakness,
I
or
would agree with that.
yeah. It's the weakness is spiritual before it's physical. Of course, there's physical weakness too, of course, but spiritual weakness, man, that's a million times worse than physical weakness. If you're physically weak but spiritually strong, man, you can easily like overcome anyone who's more like physically powerful
That's
than
right.
you. Really, like you can, and I've seen this
Yeah.
in martial arts and in so many
David
situations.
and Goliath.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get back to you going to church.
So, it continues. It continues. Go to church. Just go to church. Just go to church. And then I'm like, okay. Before the end of those 3 weeks, I'm like, you know what? This coming Sunday, I'm gonna go. And I didn't tell anyone about it. Anyone, like not even my closest friends.
Wow.
No, I didn't even write it down. I just kept it inside. Like, I'm gonna go to church.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything to anyone because I was sharing a lot of stuff so it's like with my close friends. I never told them, hey, you know what? I'm thinking of going to church, and I'm having this urge, no, or this voice talking to me. No, I first wanted to discover this for myself. So I remember that Sunday, I take a shower, I put on my clothes, my Sunday best, as they say, right? At that time, I had long hair, so I tied my hair back, and I went to church. I went to that cathedral, and I go in. And it's like, as I go in, I'm I'm just. It's not like I've never been inside. Like I've been there, but not during the prayer, not during the service or the mass, as we say. So, and it's just full of people, and they're just singing, and then the priest is talking and giving all this sermon, and I just find a seat. Like, so I go like way in the front row, because I want to be close to, I want to feel everything, and I just sit there, and I just start looking like it's all so beautiful, and the lights and the music, like something just touches me very deeply, and even the preaching. I've never heard such preaching about love and humanity, and he was, he was, the priest was even saying, like, we pray for everyone, like not just Christians, we pray for everyone. We Like, everyone is our brother and sister. Like, we have to love everybody, even our Muslim brothers because they're Christians in a Muslim country, right? So, like, there's no Moroccan there. It's all foreigners
Mm.
speaking about them being in a foreign land, in a Muslim land,
Yeah.
and they don't know that I'm there, and I come from a Muslim background. They don't expect someone from a Muslim background to be there. They're just talking among them, and they're saying these things like, even though Muslims are not like us, they're still our brothers and sisters. Like, we have to
Mm.
love them, and we have to pray for them, and oh my God, and it just really really moved me. And it's not just that, like, so many things were said, and even the moments of silence, they everything there just really. I was in tears. I was in tears from the beginning to the end. My my shirt was drenched in my tears. I felt like I was baptized in my tears. Really, I swear. Like,
That's
that
awesome.
yeah. That's always how because people ask me after, like, have you been baptized? And the first thing that comes to my mind was,
Kind of.
yeah, exactly. And
That's
I'm like,
cool.
yeah, and then so as I'm crying, this I get the best way I could describe my experience. My heart was bursting. My heart exploded, not in a negative way, but exploded open. It
Mm.
was like shut close, shut hard or whatever, and it just broke. Like,
Heart of stone to a
yeah,
heart of flesh. Yeah. The Bible
exactly.
is
Yes, I know,
really specific about that,
I know,
which
and
is
I had no
amazing.
reason to.
Isn't that amazing though? Like,
Yeah,
universally
yes, I
across
yes, I had no
thousands
notion
of
of that.
years,
Yeah,
yeah, that people experience that, this hard heart.
yeah,
I just think that's cool,
yeah,
that you're describing this,
yes,
and
and
yeah, so cool.
and let me tell you, I before I went into that church that day, I did not realize how much my heart has become hard because of everything I've been through, because all the deception and the heartbreak
Mm.
and all these things, the rejections and everything, and it made me hard. Like, it made my heart hard, and that's why I wasn't feeling God anymore in my life. I was not feeling. I was not feeling it. And all of a sudden I could feel it. All of a sudden I could feel it. And and feeling it was the most amazing feeling. But at the same time, I could feel all the pain that all this, I don't know how to explain it, man, but at the same time, I could feel, uh, so I was feeling on one side, I was feeling so much love, so much blessing, so much love from, from God. And at the same time, I could feel so much pain from all the hurt and all the hardness of heart of my heart throughout my life, and all the pain that I gathered, and all the stuff that was so hurtful that I just felt throughout my life, and I gathered or accumulated. It was all coming out at the same time. It was all coming out, and at the same time, all this love was coming out. And it was painful, but it was also the most liberating feeling, and the most, I don't know, the most beautiful thing I've ever felt in my life. And I felt like I'm finally home. I felt I'm finally home. This is the home I was always looking for, and I had no idea it was here. It was in Christ. I had no idea. And now I understood why that voice was telling me to go to church. I had no idea why it was saying to go to church. And now everything started to make sense all of a sudden. And I felt so stupid, like, oh my God. How could I think that I was so smart and so, like, I know, like, I'm so smart that I don't need God. I don't need religion. I don't need God. I don't need my creator. I felt like I was so arrogant to think that I could just do it all myself. I can't. And I'm actually quite a smart guy. But even no matter how smart we are, we're we're no match to God. He's 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 infinitely wise and merciful and loving, and he always knows what's best. And so I've had that feeling at that time, all come at the same time. And I just couldn't stop crying. And then when like at the end of the
Service.
yeah, I went out, and I was like, you know, I was baffled, from all of that. And I couldn't speak very easily. I was like very, I'm moving very slowly, and what I mean, like, when you cry so hard, and then, like, at the end you're just like exhausted, right?
Yeah.
But you feel liberated, but you're exhausted. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, you
Oh yeah,
just
it takes it out of you.
yeah, it takes exactly. You just want to lay down and sleep, or just sit under a tree and just stay there. You know what I mean? Like, you
Well,
just
I find it like I've always compared it. I've had a moment like that before, where have you ever carried a piece of paper?
yeah.
It's not very heavy, right?
Yeah.
But if you carried a whole ream of paper,
Mhm.
like lots of pieces of paper,
Very heavy.
gets heavy.
Yep.
And then you keep stacking them on, the
Yeah.
reams of paper.
Oh yeah.
And I find like that one little bit of paper is like that one sin that we start carrying, or that we think we can get away with, and it's
Yeah.
okay. That little bit of guilt or whatever it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
and then it's just another and another, and it becomes a ream, and then you get, and it's like the frog in the hot water. doesn't realize he's boiling after a while. It's nice and warm at the beginning, and then all of a sudden he's boiling to death. And sin is like that,
Yeah.
where we think we're okay, and we're carrying this weight around
Yeah.
our whole lives. And you're saying like, man, I just didn't want to do anything because the Jesus says, I'll take your burdens, cast your burdens on me. My burden is light, my yoke is easy. So like throwing all this stuff, like just surrendering it down to him. And then all of a sudden it's like, I can breathe.
Yeah.
And it's like you've never breathed before.
Exactly.
And I didn't even realize.
Exactly.
And yeah, you're didn't realize how exhausted you were.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing everything in your own strength. Thinking you can do it, which is the biggest lie. Like, we need God.
He makes it so much easier on us, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's how much he loves us. And we don't realize it because it's so easy to get arrogant and to become prideful. Like, yeah, man, like I've accomplished so much. Like, I don't need God. I don't need religion. You know, so that was my position. Like, you know, before going to church, I was like, I don't need like, why would I? You know, that's why when the voice, even see like see how my arrogance was bad. Like, even though this voice, I recognized this voice, that it was the voice that saved my life so many times, and even after all of that, I still had the audacity to try to argue with this voice and be like, "Oh man, you telling me to go to church? Why am I?" But God, He's so merciful. He's like,
Yeah.
I know that you're a victim of your arrogance. Just go to church. Just trust me. Just go to church. He didn't say that you will have this if you go to church, or no, he didn't say anything. Just go. He just kept saying it, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go. He knew that I was, although I could be a little, I was like, I could be a little prideful or arrogant, but he knew that my heart was like, was gonna see seed, or no, how do you say that, so like, was gonna like surrender to him. He knew that.
Yeah.
And so when I came out of church, you know, people greet and say hi and, you know, talk and whatever, you know, friends meet up and everything. And of course, you know, eventually people said hi to me and, what's your name? And, oh, my name is Omar. Oh, a Moroccan Christian. Interesting. I'm like, no, I'm not a Christian. Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the church. Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, you know, how did you like it? Did you like it? I mean, I was worried that they would be like, so what did you like come do here, man? Like you, if you're not Christian, like, what are you doing here? No, they just welcomed me, man. Oh, nice. Okay, well, you know, welcome anytime.
Mm.
That really touched me, man. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. And so, you know, so they're like, yeah, well, we're just curious, like, what made you come here? And this still happens to me, but it was happening to me a whole lot more back then. Every time someone would ask me, what made you come to church, I would just start crying. That was my answer. Because my answer was not words or, oh, because, no, I just, you know, it's something beyond any words, man. It's because God told me to, man. Like that's
Yeah.
basically it. And 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 if I say that, I just start crying. Or even before I say that, I start crying. When people ask me like, so what made you become Christian? I just start crying because I can see my ignorance, and then how merciful God was with me and just saved me, brought me to his house, you know, his church and his people. And so now I'm like, I'm starting to get to know these people, these Christians, and you know, and then I come every Sunday I keep going, and I cry every time I go, and and the friends that I'm making, like we're meeting and we're talking about the Bible and studying the Bible together, and it's so beautiful, man. And then like I just felt like I have a family now. And of course, that's not the main reason why I became Christian. Of course not. I mean, I always knew that Christians were this kind of people, but I never thought of becoming a Christian, even though I liked so many things about Christianity and about Christians and about, of course, I've had Christian friends in the past, but I never really that that was never a reason for me to become Christian.
It's
But
a good reason not to become a
it,
Christian because
sure,
then you're dependent on what other people are doing as well. And one thing,
sure,
I remember one guy that I was talking to, he said, um, he said, I would never become a Christian because you're all just hypocrites. I was like, yeah, we can always use room for one more. And it was like, we know, like that's the deal, is we need a savior. We're fully aware of our sin.
yeah,
We're not ignorant of the fact.
yeah, yeah,
And I think it's important not to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to become a Christian because I lack a community or I lack a wife or I lack,
sure, sure.
you know.
No, that was
I
that.
mean, to be honest, if that's the reason why you want to go to church, I actually still encourage you to go to church because you never know, God can work with everything. But
Sure.
if that's something like you really hold on to, remember there's a lot deeper love than just the love of sinners. There's an incredible ocean deep love that
Sure,
God
sure.
has for us and that you've experienced every time you talk about it, you experience,
Yes,
which is
absolutely,
amazing.
absolutely. Yeah,
And that's how you know that it's so real, it's deep, it's authentic, and the Holy Spirit has changed you from the inside out
yeah,
and continually transforming you. Like to be able to walk into his embrace from a thought
yeah,
that you have
yeah.
and it hits you like that. I mean, it hits me when I talk about this one moment when I heard the Lord's voice. I won't go into it, but he attached a feeling to it that wasn't my feeling. He said, because the Lord said to me, this is how I feel about, it was actually about Muslims. This is how I feel about people turning away from my faith and becoming a Muslim.
Huh.
And I shared that with my wife, and she's like, what does it mean? And I don't know. And then I started sharing it a bit with my wife, and all of a sudden I wasn't able to speak, and this overwhelming feeling came over me. And it was what he said, this is how I feel. And then I got a feeling, which was this incredible heartbreak. Really, really hard heartbreak, more than I've ever felt. And I broke for like 2 hours. Was unable to talk, speak, crying. And I don't care that much. I do care, but not like that. If I'm to be really honest, if somebody was to change faith from Christianity to Muslim, I would, it's not that I wouldn't care, but I don't care that much personally to cry for 2 hours. It was somebody else's feelings. It was God saying, this is how I feel. And it was intense. It
I
was,
think,
yeah.
I think, I think, I think, I think you underestimate yourself. We as human beings have far more love and compassion than we might think.
Oh, I definitely have love and compassion,
So I
but
mean,
this was on an
yeah, but I mean,
unprecedented level.
yes, but let me tell you, like we
This was like
often,
more than I felt with my wife.
of course, but I mean, we often don't realize how much we do care about others, but we really do. Like I found myself crying for others as well.
But don't get me wrong, it's not that I didn't care. It's just this was a level that I
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
was like,
Of course, I understand.
whoa.
Like that much, I know.
That's how I knew it was God, because I knew it was
It
not
is God.
me.
No, but it is God, but it is you as well.
Well, David says, break my heart for what breaks yours. So it's God showing him, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
It's not actually David's heart, how he's designed, but it's God giving him a glimpse of his. And I think that's what happened to me.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that I like. It doesn't make me a horrible person to think like that. What it does is elevates God's love,
Yeah.
knowing how deep it is in comparison to all of the rest of us. We think we can love. We don't even get we can't even grasp the smallest part on how powerful it was that Jesus went to the cross. Let me share this real quick revelation. You'll probably quite like this. I had this when my son, who we can hear outside,
Yeah, I heard him.
having a laugh at something. You'll meet him in a second, but his name is Zion. And when he was 3 weeks old, he's only 1 now. When he was 3 weeks old, I was holding him at 3 in the morning, letting my wife get some sleep. And he was sleeping in my arms, and I was out in the lounge. And I was thinking about him, and I was going, Lord, I would do anything for this little boy. I would jump in front of a car. I would sell my property. I would empty my bank account. I would do everything. I would cross the ocean for this little boy.
Of course.
What is he worth then? Because whatever he's worth is what I'm willing to pay for him. And what I'm willing to pay for him is everything that I have. So it got me thinking, what are we worth in God's eyes? I was like, okay, let me get some perspective here. God did buy us, right? He purchased us. The Bible is very clear on that. So you have a God that can create infinite amount of wealth like that. He can. He can create 1 trillion galaxies full of 1 billion trillion buckets of gold and silver. And he could do that and purchase us back. Why didn't he do it? Because we're still worth more. That's the crazy part. We're still worth more than all that. We're worth more than everything in this universe that exists. And even if God were to create more universes, basically anything that God can create, we are still worth more than that. Infinitely. So we're so valuable that there's nothing in this universe that would have tipped the scales for the purchase of us back to God. Because that would be our market value, whatever somebody's willing to pay. We're so valuable that God had to find something outside of creation that wasn't created. Jesus. And that had to be our down payment. Now the cool thing is Satan understood this. He scoured all of the universe and went, there's nothing that God can use to buy these people back. They're screwed. So when he saw Jesus going to the cross and dying, he thought that he had won, not realizing that that was the down payment for our souls. So if you ever consider yourself not valuable, you are more valuable than, you're not just more valuable than everything in the universe. Your value is an immeasurable amount. More than everything in the universe times infinity. And then that is still not enough. Isn't that crazy? And I'm looking at my son, and this is the funny part. I'm like, I would do anything for you. I would move mountains. I would bankrupt heaven for you. And you don't even know who I am. Yeah. Isn't that special? Exactly. And my son didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
And that's Jesus to us. He's looking at us going, you don't even know who I am yet. And this is what I did for you. Pretty cool.
It is, yeah.
So I had that revelation about 11 months ago.
That's beautiful, man. Really beautiful.
And it still wrecks me when I think about it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. And it's so true. So true, man. So, spot on.
Yeah.
It's,
Anyway, let me share ask you one last question before we wrap things up.
Yeah,
Now
sure.
that God has been part of your life
Yeah.
so intimately
Yeah.
for a year,
Yeah.
where do you see him taking you?
Oh, that's a loaded question. I don't know, man. I see him taking me wherever I'm supposed to be taken. That's all I say. But if I can elaborate more on that, since I started going to church, so the first time was August, if I'm not mistaken, August 4th, if that was a Sunday, or I don't think it was the 6th, it was the 4th of 2024. Uh, my life just suddenly started to change, man. Everything started to come back to its place. My relationship with my mom got fixed because me and my mom had a lot of hard. My mom she's a very, you know, I have good parents, but she's very hard to deal with, and she takes a lot of medicine, and she has like nervous problems, and so it was never easy to have a relationship with her. But since then, my relationship with her just was never better. And she even started to actually go to church with me, and I start sharing the Bible, Bible verses with her, and she really loves it more and more. And she's still going to church even now, and like wanting to know Jesus more, and
That's
we're
awesome.
yeah, man, and we have a really good relationship. Unfortunately, with my father, with my dad, I try to share with him, but because he's studied Islam and even Christianity to some extent. I'm not convinced at all that he knows Christianity as much as I thought he did. Because whenever I I always shared with him about my spiritual journey, and he was always open. When I was talking about Buddhism, about Buddha, about this, about that, he was always open to hear me out and to consider what I was giving. As soon as I told him that I'm going to church and I want to talk to you about the Bible, he's like, "There's no need. There's no need.
It's different.
It's
Yeah, it's
different."
different than any other.
And I told him,
Yeah.
and I even told him like how come you were always open when I spoke about anything else
Mm.
spiritual, but as soon as I start talking to you about Jesus, you just want to run away. Oh, look, you have your own belief. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Like, no, I'm not gonna leave you alone. I told him that, and we're actually like now we're not in really good terms just because of this. Actually,
Yeah.
like, and we'd never been in bad terms before. Never,
Interesting.
just because of this. And he's showing like aggression, and he's showing like hostility and coldness, and I'm yeah. Sometimes we argue, but it's always in good faith, from my end at least. And I'm like, hey man, listen, like, here's something else that you can see, like it shows because he okay. The thing is, can I share this real quick? He okay.
Mhm.
He because I even spoke to him about some of these experiences that I had with God, right? Showing me that people don't just die and disappear. They're actually there, and they, because they greeted me and said goodbye and thank you, and I'm leaving to a place, and they're actually going to heaven, right? Like it's obvious. And I was telling my dad, like listen, he's an atheist. He doesn't believe in all of this. I'm like, listen, I saw deceased people in my dreams saying goodbye before anyone even told me that they died.
Mm.
And I've been always told the very next morning by their family that they passed away. And you know what my father said? Yeah, no, that's just a coincidence. And I'm like, really? Like 2 times, 3 times? Like seriously? And
He
you know
should
what?
he should be asking you to buy a lotto ticket.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. No, but that's what I told him, you know what? I know that you're being I know that you're just in denial because you know what my dad said? He said something very significant. He said, if I start believing in what you say, and he's like he has an inner struggle because he's like because at one point I took it personally. I'm like, do you think I would lie to you? Like you don't trust me? Like no, I trust that you believe in it. Anyway, he's trying to just make sense out of it in his own way. And I'm like, and then like at one point he said, if I believe in what you're saying, now I have to believe in all the miracles that are spoken about in the Bible and in the holy books. And I'm like, yeah, so what? So what? Why wouldn't you? Oh, come on, man. Leave me alone. I don't want to think about this. Just leave me. I'm like, Dad, you please just consider this. Like,
Mm.
you know me. Like we've been close all our lives. We've been close all our lives, and have I ever shared something with you which was not true? Like even all the stuff that I was sharing with you up till now, it was still true. Like it's not like now like I realized that all of that was not true and only this is true. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Actually, everything I've been through, even in Buddhism, everything, it was bits and pieces of truth that led me to this truth that led me to God, to
Yeah.
Jesus.
There's truth wrapped in a lot of things,
Yes.
but like we said earlier, truth is wrapped in a lot of lies sometimes. There's a little bit of truth and enough there for to bring you towards it. And I think like a lot of these different religions are
Yeah, but not just that. Not sorry.
yeah,
Not just that. Yeah, truth can be wrapped up in lies as well. But sometimes you can find truth which is incomplete. Like it's not necessarily wrapped up in lies all the time, but it could be just bits and pieces of
just a little
truth.
bit off. Yeah.
Yeah, just like 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 in Buddhism.
Yeah.
Buddhism never says like, oh, there's actually no God and whatever. No, no, no.
Sure.
They don't even speak about it, but they touch on certain truths,
Mm.
about how to be and how to,
Yeah.
and how to be loving and how to, how actually.
You should read the book Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. It's written from the demon's perspective
Okay.
towards us.
Oh, okay.
It's very interesting, and one thing that they touch on is that with people, the demon's job, they it's not you don't have to lead them away from God, like or away from church. Just make sure that they're not going towards God, or make sure that they're prioritizing anything else but God.
Oh yeah,
So it
definitely.
could be Buddhism, or it could be your job, or it could be your family. As long as they say make sure that
Yeah.
they've put everything into that, so that they don't start looking towards God.
Yeah, yeah. I understand.
And I think that happens a lot, and that
Yeah.
happens a lot. Like when you're talking about Buddhism and stuff. Like if you were to get really invested in Buddhism, which you have been, and if that did its job, that you never seeked out
Yeah.
Christ
I
from a demon's perspective, it's going to keep you in Buddhism, even if it's good in a lot of other
think
areas of your life.
the thing I have to say about that is Buddhism is not trying to make people stay away from God or anything. It's actually a very good introduction towards spirituality for those who have no spirituality in their life. Actually, Buddhism, from what I've seen, can lead people to Christ very quickly.
Mm.
It's not like because Buddhism is very different than the religions that we know in the West, like Islam and Christian. It's not like, okay, this is it, this is the conclusion of life and that's it. No, no, no. Buddhism is more like a path to self-discovery and a path of seeking. Buddhism is one of those ways that
Is it
it,
true they go to you're trying to achieve nirvana or something? Is that Buddhism?
yes, yes, sir, for sure.
Yeah. But if you think about that, nirvana is the emptying of self, right?
So nirvana is enlightenment.
Enlightenment.
Yeah, enlightenment can
But
also,
like meditation is to
but
empty
yeah.
yourself of all thoughts and everything.
So that's just one of the methods. So enlightenment is basically, if you want if you want to explain it in a different sense, and this is not something that's against the, Buddhism or anything like that. It's enlightenment is basically uh being touched by the divine, by by basically by God. We say the divine. I mean, Buddhists or other spiritual people say the divine because they don't know who God is yet, but they know that someone is divine, something is divine.
Mm.
They're just still seeking what it is and or who it is, right? But they're open to that, and
Mm.
that's a good thing, So
Yeah, I hope so. I I I wouldn't be surprised though if there's a a fallen angel dressed up as the divine on the other side of Buddhism.
Yeah, sure, I understand, but no, but it's not like that. I'm not saying that some people don't fall in that, but I'm saying Buddhism is one of those. It's not just Buddhism, actually. In this case, Zen Buddhism, because there's many different kinds, but Zen Buddhism is one of those ways which is just a way of seeking, seeking the truth. That's all, and that's why I gravitated towards it so easily because it was just a method. It's a it's a method of seeking and and looking for what is true. That's it. Yeah, the truth about ourselves, about our mind, about life, and that actually really like it can really be helpful to finding God.
Mm.
To finding Christ, really, and contrary to, for example, like some religions which are very like they give like conclusions like, okay, this is it, this is the truth, you don't have to
Sure.
look anywhere else. That's very different. That's
Yeah.
very different, and that's the reasons, like that's one of the reasons why I really respect things like Buddhism, like Zen Buddhism specifically, where they they give a lot of space to seek out the truth, and that could be very helpful, especially for people who have no religion or who are still just atheists, or just they just wanna they still have a thirst for truth, and they don't want to jump to conclusions that fast.
So
It's a very good way to
are
start.
these people that study
Sikhism.
not
Oh,
no Buddhism,
oh.
Zen Buddhism? You say they seek truth. Is there any truth that they've grasped though, or are they just looking? Because like you're
It
saying that
depends.
one has
It, de-
conclusions,
it depends
which are
on the
normally
yeah.
conclusions on truth, right? Because they have been seeking.
Yes. So I guess it depends on
Or is there a lot of people that just don't know, but they're looking?
yeah, that's the thing. They don't know, and they're just looking, and they're just open, because the truth will hit you. Like, if you're available to it, it will hit you. It will be revealed in one way or another to
Because
you.
the one thing that I'm really worried about is I've got this cousin
Mm-hmm.
that I've talked about Christianity before,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, I just don't have enough information to make a decision. So it's like this constant road for looking for truth, yet never feeling
So
like there's the ability to make a decision.
okay,
Is that something that's in Zen Buddhism?
no, it's very different. Look, so let me say this. In the case of your cousin, uh, she only knows the mind. What I mean by that is she only knows the intellect, the rudimentary logic.
She's trying to follow truth, though.
So, of
Yeah.
course, no doubt about that. But the tools that she's using is very rudimentary. Is only the intellect, and if as long as one is using mainly their intellect, nothing higher will ever touch them, unless some miracle happens or whatever. But so these kind of people, they want to have like a good reason to, you see. So she said that herself. She said, I still don't have a good reason to, right, something like
I
that.
just don't have enough information.
Yeah, enough information.
So there's
So
plenty of good reasons,
but
but
that,
there's not enough info.
I'm not saying there's not good reasons, but for someone like that who is depending on information, basically intellectual
But never has enough
information,
information. That's the issue.
because you cannot have enough
Because
intellectual information.
you can't know everything.
No, but what I'm
That's
trying
the
to
thing.
say, yeah, no, but if you could just hear me out just a little bit, like what I'm trying to say, because this stuff is very subtle. Um, Information is mainly intellectual stuff. It all has to do with thinking, and okay, this seems good. This doesn't seem good. Okay, but that's not that's not what will give you a transcendental experience. That might give you a logical conclusion. Okay, yeah, this seems good. This seems right. Okay, all right. So I choose this. This is very different than, for example, what happened to me. Like I had no like, I didn't eat. I was actually against against being having being Christian or anything. But because I had a certain openness to the transcendental,
Sure.
then
No,
it touched me and it
that's right.
transformed me.
But my point is I think she's open,
That's
but
good. If she's open, that's good.
but her issue is she never believes she has enough information to make the choice.
Okay, here's what I would say to her. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, can I? Okay, so it's not about information. It's about just being open and available, because God is already here, man. God, you see, when we live in the mind so much, we forget like what's really obvious.
Mm.
God is already here. He's everywhere. But we are not available to him. When we become available, when we open our hearts, for example, now his grace will easily touch us. And it only takes one moment to be touched by the grace of God,
Yeah.
that it will transform us completely. And
Is that the right time? Just thought I'd check the time. 2:30.
okay,
Is that the right time? Oh
uh,
yeah.
I don't know.
Is it?
Is it?
Yep.
Oh wow, okay.
I
Good.
forgot I had a clock there.
Okay, good.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I know. I did not expect
We should
that.
probably wrap things up.
Sure. Yeah. I would just like to
Yeah.
continue really quickly. Um. So okay. Having said this, I want to continue what I was like about my experience, because it goes in line. When that happened to me the first time I was in church and I came out, in my mind, I'm going to tell you what was happening in my mind, because the mind is very powerful. It's I mean, the intellect, the mind, especially if it's conditioned in a certain way, and we're all conditioned to a certain extent. My mind was like, okay, what now? Are you Christian? But you don't believe in this, you know what I mean? And but at the same time, my heart that was hardened for all this time has has become a heart of flesh again.
Mm.
And my heart started speaking once again, saying, I know this is true. You may not have enough information, like for me, and this is also good for for others listening, like your cousin. You may not have, because didn't know I didn't know anything much about the Bible. I mean, I knew a few things, like basic things, but not really basic.
Mm.
I did not. I was actually in disagreement that Jesus is the Son of God or God Himself, but my heart was saying this is true. My mind was like, yeah, I'm still not convinced, but my heart was saying what you just experienced
Yeah.
is the most true thing ever.
Yeah.
So now I was like, I
Like
was
a
confused. I was like,
revelational truth.
yes, yeah. So now I was confused. I was like, wow, I don't know where I stand now, because when people were asking me, oh, so you're a Moroccan Christian? I was like, no, and they're like, oh, so you're just coming to church? And I was like, I don't know. I really don't know. I just had a calling and I had to come, and and now I have this experience
Mm.
that's always putting me to tears. Like now, like every time I talk about it, man, it's incredible. It's been a year now, and I still cry every time I talk about it, man. And I kept going to church and I kept going to church, and then I started reading the Bible. I started meeting with Christians and the priests as well, so so you can help me with like just to know more for my mind, right? Uh,
Your
and
mind has got to catch up to your heart.
exactly, that's that's a perfect way to say it. And so now and so I started having these I don't know what to call them, feelings, revelations. I don't know if we can call them revelations, but like these like glimpses of what's real. For example, one time like so I had this, and then I had this epiphany or whatever. I wrote it on Facebook. I wrote like, okay, each religion like kind of like represents a certain dimension of life. In yoga we call these dimensions chakras. Okay, so chakras like represent like different dimensions of life. So I was like, okay, so people say that Islam is a religion of peace. Okay, okay. They say that Buddhism is a religion of compassion. They say, Hinduism is is consciousness. All these things, but Christianity is a religion of love. And although compassion, consciousness, peace, and all these things are good, if you have no love, you are nothing.
Mm.
And I showed this to one of the priests, and he was like, "Hey, that sounds like Corinthians in First
Yeah, I
Corinthians
was just
13."
thinking that. Yeah.
And I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah. There's something very similar in the Bible." And then he showed it to me, and I started crying.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my God!" God was showing me like things that were like in the Bible, of course, in like said in different ways.
Yeah, in a
Uh,
way that you would
before
able to understand and comprehend easier.
before even reading the Bible,
That's cool.
yeah, before even reading them, and I just got like, I just broke
Good
down and started
confirmation.
crying.
Good
Yeah,
confirmation, that um
and it's not
yeah.
like, so like, this is not like, I mean, the only thing. Of course, there was other things, but I'm not gonna look into them now. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to say, like, just like you said, like, my mind had to catch up to my heart. My heart already knew, and the thing I wanted to say as well is, uh, w- one of the ways that I have, like, that I describe my experience is, my heart had eyes that I've never knew it had, and
Mm.
all of a sudden they opened. Now all of a sudden I see the world through the eyes of my heart, and I had no idea that there was actually a Christian song, say, that's called "Open the Eyes of My Heart" or something along
Open
those
the eyes
lines,
of my heart, Lord. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I
Great song.
I didn't even hear it yet, but I mean, but I'm aware that there's a song like that,
Mm.
because when I saw that there was a song like that, I just started crying again. I was like, oh my God, like, that's exactly what I said after I had
Mm.
that experience. I literally felt like my heart had eyes, and they just opened, and now I could see the world through my heart. And everything that didn't make sense before, all of a sudden just makes perfect sense.
Wow.
Really. And
So cool.
so beautiful, man. Yeah. And I mean, and that experience alone made me want to get closer to Christ, know Christ more. And the more I knew about him, the more I read the Bible, and and I and I was so ignorant about how beautiful and how profound the Bible is.
Mm.
I've never really read it before. Like, now when I read it, man, it hits you so deeply. Like, I'm like, wow, this is the Bible. Like, I never knew
Dude,
this.
it's alive,
It's
man.
it's alive. It
Yeah.
speaks to you, and
Yeah.
it's so, oh my God, it's so full of grace and beauty and wonders and love, and like, you really like,
Yeah.
it's so powerful.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and yeah, and so as I'm reading the Bible, and as I'm learning more about Jesus, and 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 looking through looking at these things through the eyes of my heart, and even using my mind too, but and sorry, let me just say this really quick. Even the all the knowledge that I got from from studying spirituality and mysticism,
Yeah.
that I thought that, I was just learning them because I'm even that helped me understand Christ much
Mm.
better. And now I'm like, man, I know these things are real, because I know from my experience in India and all these things with yoga, I know these things are real. I
Yeah.
know these things are not just a matter of faith. I know they're real. So it just made me so, like, it just made it so much easier for me to accept Christ as God.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now
I
my
like
heart is, and my mind are caught up together, and now they're
yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. They're high fiving.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Your heart and your mind.
Yeah,
I
man.
like how your story has God using all aspects of your journey,
Yes.
whether it's your doubt to
Yes.
confirm, whether it's your ability to walk into Buddhism, which, like you said, it opened your ability to receive the idea of the supernatural, of the spiritual, of um, that something bigger might be out there. I like how God has used so many different
Right.
things in your
Exactly. Yeah.
life to draw him towards you, because beforehand, when you had that really hard heart and a resistance to the supernatural, a resistance to the Holy Spirit's voice, I just don't think it would have worked.
Yeah,
Like, and he knows that. Like,
he
he's
knows that.
unbelievably patient with us. So awesome, man. Awesome testimony. And I know you left a lot out, but due to time, we'll
Of course.
finish there.
No, it's fine. I'm also like, each time I talk about this, I share so much that it makes me exhausted at the end. So like, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm fine with stopping now too.
Yeah, great.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I just want to mention this. I'm actually planning on writing a book about my testimony, and because I really want to share uh, all all my life events that led me to becoming Christian.
Do it.
Because
And
there's so much
once
more.
it's out, send it to me. Make sure you give me a link for
Sure,
our listeners,
sure.
and they can find it in the description. So
Thank you.
if you're listening to this episode in the next couple of years, make sure you check the description to see if there's a book description there. So
Right.
thank you, Omar, Paul, Daniel,
Yes.
all your names. I like it. Triune.
Thank you, bro.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul, for coming on the show. Really, really appreciate your story, and you've got such a heart for people and such a heart for God. Like,
you
keep
very much.
running hard,
Thank you very much.
and your path will be made straight. I know that for sure.
Thank you so much, man.
No
Thank you.
worries.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Jesus Magnet podcast. We'll see you next time.